Speaker on.
Silent mode on.
Not that one.
Which one are you looking for? Larry, can you hit the red button? Yeah, I know. Yeah, so speakers are on, but Facebook is still joining. Was looking for number 16. Oh, sure.
Did you get a flag everywhere?
No, Facebook is saying live video is starting. Guess maybe go ahead and start, wait for Facebook to catch up.
Okay.
Okay. I call to order this Historic Preservation Board meeting, City of Glen Rose, Texas, on April 16th, 2024 at 5:32 p.m. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll take the roll call. Karen Braswell is here. Ann Carver,
Here.
Scott Cole,
Here.
Linda McCaffrey,
Here.
and Melinda Patrick. We have a quorum. All right, our second item is acknowledgement of Ann Carver resigning as chairperson of the Preservation Commission. And we will need to elect a chairperson. Do I have any nominations?
I second it.
Third.
We have a nomination and a second for Melinda Patrick. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, do we have any
Do I
other
vote?
nominations?
No.
No other nominations, and we have a 100% vote for Melinda. So Melinda, congratulations. The meeting is yours.
Are we appointing a chairperson?
No,
We have a
I mean, the
vice chair
vice chair,
who's
you
not
just stay in the
elected.
vice chair position, so we just, okay, so we don't have to do anything for that, okay.
yeah.
So we're moving on to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March 19th, 2024?
With
Yeah, go ahead.
a correction.
Okay,
You're now Melinda McCaffrey. And you did change it, did you
I
not,
did.
Jody?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that has been corrected.
Okay, with that correction, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes.
You gonna second it?
I'll second.
Take Karen first.
okay, I think I'm doing this right. So the minutes have been approved. Karen Braswell has
Made a motion.
made a motion, Scott seconded. That's it.
All in favor?
Five over.
I like your little cheat sheet. I just have to figure out how to use it, huh?
Yeah, the cheat sheets.
The cheat sheet.
You're welcome.
That's all, Jody.
That is all, Jody.
All right, next up, individual items for consideration. Certificate of appropriateness has been submitted by Scott Burgess on behalf of TGR Healthcare / Rick Villa or Villa. I'm not
And I
sure.
have to present it.
Oh,
Yeah, the HBO has to present it.
okay, so that's new.
That's new because.
That is what says in our
That's the way
ordinance,
you
and that
do
is
it.
the correct way to do it. Unless, well,
So then you're not biased. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
that's
present
why
it.
the HBO
Yeah.
presents.
Yeah,
so, and
because
that
I
was
don't know.
confusing. So that is in our ordinance. However, state
And the
guidelines
state-
contradict that.
They don't though.
So,
If you look
Yeah.
at
Okay.
everything on the state level, it's the HPO, because then you're not biased, you get to vote.
The
um,
HBO presents and then because you present, it can cause bias.
okay.
That's
The
all.
only reason that when I was chair is that we had no
Well, no,
HBO.
Granbury does it
HBO.
different too.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
Granbury
we had-
does not have their HPO presented.
Yeah.
The director does, so, yeah, Ian and I talked about it. So yes, so we all agree our ordinance says the HPO presents it. I am so ready for you to go.
Okay, so we have Scott?
JP.
JP's here. We are talking about the palace. They are in the process of replacing some of the rotten wood. If you have on the second picture, it's kind of the rotten wood that frames the window. And then the two windows, the wood involved in that, that's also rotten. And so I think you can see the second picture where they've had to take some of that out. They've already started putting some of the wood in. And then they are proposing what is on the third page, which is this exterior concrete window. And so if you want to give them any more detail than that,
Sure. It's just cast stone trim around the east and west window, not the center one. Cause Rick didn't wanna do all of it, we'd be getting into a ton of stuff doing the center one, but the two exteriors, the construction pic you saw, that's all framing for the window. That's how gone, everything we've run into literally is made out of wood on the front is.
and then you're gonna paint, the palace sign is gonna get painted.
Yes, and
right?
then the other one was the palace sign, just redo it in white, black, and gold like it is currently, just trying to shine it up, make it look nice. He wants to keep the name on it because people are familiar with it. So, those are the two things. Like I said, we think that the cast stone would just give it a little bit, more of a pop on the front of the building, considering how limited we are on what else we can do with it. And it'll last forever
And
versus.
was that just wood before?
Yes.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
wood before.
It's just wood.
Is this one still here, right here in the middle? Kind of like set at an angle like that? Is that
It
still there?
is, and we're gonna go back exactly with the same stuff. It's just shiplap.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about the doors, that staying the same?
the door's already been approved.
Sorry.
Yeah, the door was
Yeah.
approved, that's what I thought.
A month or two ago.
Is that the
The
material
colors,
that you're using for these windows? That veneer is just, it's not it's just attached to the old
Correct.
building? How secure is all of that with all that rotted underneath?
well, we're replacing all the basically wood structure on the inside below, what is that called? The lintel.
The lintel,
Below the
okay.
lintel, we're replacing all the supports.
So it will be able to take, I don't know how much weight there is on
No,
this.
the lintel's supporting all the way from the roof, and all the front, all the facade.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
okay, so
it's all
the
attached to the
concrete,
lintel.
is this like real concrete or is it that composite, lighter weight?
Yes, that's what it is. It's cast stone.
Okay, that's what, cause I looked at, I said, concrete, no, I don't. So
So,
it's okay, it's light enough that it's
Yes.
not gonna,
Yeah, and again, it'll last for 100 years versus this wood that we believe the facade was put on in the 90s.
it was put on the 80s.
80s.
Okay, so I mean,
yeah, you weren't
yeah.
wrong, you weren't far off.
we're 45 years into it,
Mhm.
and
It's, yeah,
it's we ran into so much stuff over there, folks.
Okay, so I have a question about,
Yes,
so the particular style that you chose, Can you do it without this little cornice right here?
Keystone.
Without the keystone? Yeah,
Keystone.
there you go.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Because this is not
Because it's
appropriate for
way it
the
was.
That's it.
building, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you do it like,
Just the arch.
we can literally do anything y'all folks would like. Yes, we can take that key knot.
Keep it like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can take that key knot out
Yeah.
and just go
Yeah.
smooth
Well, I
on
mean,
top.
yeah, and I don't know, I'm interested to hear what other people think, because the windows aren't original, right? They were square at one, or rectangular at one time, so they
They
made
weren't
them
there.
arches in the
They weren't there
eighties.
at one time.
Right.
Before the facade, there was nothing.
Well, they were there, but then they made them arches, right? That's what the history of the building says.
No. Before that facade was there was no windows there.
Yeah, we have pictures, we'll pass them around.
Let's see if I do.
The lintel was right here,
It
and
looks-
this was all recessed.
No, I don't
Yeah.
have it.
Well, in the
Yeah, the
sixties, I'm
recessed
pretty
one's
sure
there.
there
It's
was,
above there.
I
No,
think there was
It's
a-
above there.
There was no windows up there.
And there are no windows up there.
hang on.
okay, well, the National District Register has a different history of it.
I believe those windows came in when the facade came in.
Either way, though, they aren't of the original period of the building. And so I guess for me, I don't necessarily like the keystone, just because I feel like it's trying to make it more kind of Italianate, or like it's, or, you know, more Second Empire, or more, you know, like it's trying to make it something that's really not. Whereas if you just go with a plain arch, it's very non-descriptive. It's very,
No, and that's, like I
that's
said,
just my,
that's not
opinion.
gonna be a holdup for
I
Rick.
agree.
You know, like I said, that's not gonna be a holdup for Rick.
Well, actually, it says that two small
There were
windows
two
high
small
on the
windows.
facade provided natural light into the projection booth.
Okay, so maybe that
windows
middle
The
window,
middle one was added at a different date.
okay.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
what was added, it was modified again in the eighties.
We're looking at the National Register.
We're
of
looking at
Historical
National
Places.
Register.
Yeah, I don't have a copy of it.
The architectural historians from Tarleton, that was their research that they did on it.
When we entered the National Registry in 2014.
That's the binder that's in the file cabinet.
It's on it's section 7, page 21, it's property number 15.
Oh, your file there? Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it.
Do you guys want to look at
No, I'm
this?
good.
I'm sure you've seen it.
Here, Heather.
I've seen it.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions?
Because see, it closes a theater in the 1980s, so those had to be there long before then.
And that's when I think they added the arches, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
So no
Because it was the
keystone
80s.
and
Because it was the
arch.
80s.
Is that what we're
Yeah.
proposing?
Disco.
Yeah.
Keystone, straight arch, clean.
That's when the permastone went on, the veneer was added, when they
Veneer.
closed it was when the
Which is
veneer was
almost old
added.
enough to have its own period of significance.
That's correct. Actually, it
really-
is.
I know, it
It
is.
really is.
Yeah.
Just about, because it's 44.
Right, and that's why I'm thinking that it's not necessary to like fight the system is.
Yeah.
And what color are you proposing?
I mean, something to play off of the white after we pressure wash the facade and see, you know, what we're looking at. You know, I don't know, grayish, you know, something to play off of the white. I mean, it can be sandstone like that is currently. I don't, you know.
Because right now, they have it in or before you took it down.
Right.
It was kind of a greenish
Yeah.
tone.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And we're going back, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because this is your 4th trip,
Fifth.
5th? Oh, I apologize. Thank you for coming back.
I enjoy y'all folks.
We have approved the colors for the archways and all of that.
Yeah.
And we had approved the paint colors previously.
Mhm.
So I would think that if you went back with a color of the paint colors that we already approved,
One of our trim colors was Noir.
Yeah.
I mean-
no, well,
You know,
you're gonna,
we don't,
well, I don't want that.
Ex-
That's what I was,
exactly.
no, it can't be black. I was just fixing to say, no.
And, you know, Rick sent me the color on that picture I sent y'all. So if Rick's cool with that, if y'all are cool with that, I'm cool with that. If I need to change it to a light gray or something like whatever y'all's suggestion is.
I think it needs to
I'm trying
kind
to
of,
save you from having to come back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I think it needs to
I'd
kind of
appreciate it
blend.
because I need to get these windows buttoned.
I know,
Yeah.
that's why we're
Yeah.
trying to keep you.
I think it needs to kind of blend with the building for what we've already
Well,
approved
That's
in
what I
that
was thinking, like a
sense.
light gray
A light gray that
would
we've
play
already
off of
approved.
that.
Yes.
Once it's pressure washed, a light gray is going to play off of that fine.
That's
Okay.
correct. That's why I'm saying, that's what I was getting at.
Yes,
We're not gonna, black windows. No.
A light
That's
gray, a
fine.
light gray
Light
would
gray.
also look better. This color that's in the picture is gonna look odd once you
that's
pressure wash that stone, yeah.
the basic sandstone
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, but a light gray would look good.
I mean, yeah, that's easy. They just don't put tan in it. You know, it's simple as that.
So can we just amend the certificate right now and here and put something into that language? I can hardly read this one.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
really faint.
Yeah, I couldn't read it at all.
You talking about my form?
But no, it doesn't print out very dark for me, so I can't
Yeah.
quite.
Yeah, we're seeing.
It's just blurry.
I've been using a lot of whiteout on that.
Well,
So
actually,
we're not all.
he didn't,
just a date.
Melinda, he actually didn't put a color on
No,
it.
he
He
just
just
put
put
repair.
cast stone, window
Yes.
trim, and ledge. Ledge?
Yeah, the ledge would be what goes across.
Right,
the
but I was
top.
trying to read.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay. And we're gonna do it in a light gray?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
I,
Is that one of
No
the approved
keystone?
colors we already did? Can I
don't
put
know
on
what
one of
name
the
of it
approved
is. I
colors
forget the-
with?
I'll coordinate with
Okay.
Jody.
Yeah.
I'll coordinate with Jody. I know where I can go find the master list too. So we'll find a light gray that will, like I said, we got, 50 years, 40 years of grime on the front of that building. Once we hit it with a power washer, it's gonna
God
shine
knows
up.
what-
Yeah.
But I think the light gray would look great.
And for washing it, you have to use like the
Silver
soft
green.
wash kind
Yeah,
of.
silver green or something
Yeah.
like that. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Anybody else? Questions, comments? No? Okay. I'm gonna give this a whirl. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness submitted by Scott Burgess for TGR at, what is the address here? 114 Northeast Bernard, otherwise known as the Palace, to repair the sign above the doorway exactly as it is, and to replace the two arched windows with cast stone window trim and ledges without the keystone and in one of the pre-approved colors that they have already applied for.
I second it.
We need someone to,
Okay, I'll first it. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
okay, the certificate has been approved.
No, vote, baby.
Oh, no, hey, let's vote first.
I've got an idea.
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Alright, passes 5. Thanks you guys for hanging in there with me.
Pleasure doing business with y'all.
Okay.
We'll see you
next
We'll see you next
month.
month.
Hey, next
We gonna see you
month
again
is
next
pizza
month?
night.
Pizza
Next
night?
month
Okay.
is
Pizza
pizza
night.
night. I said that
Last
last
That sounds great.
Next month. Next month. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night.
So do we need to make, an order? Give you our order?
I'm sorry. Oh,
Our pizza
Yeah.
Do we need to give you our pizza order?
oh, yeah. What
Okay.
would y'all like?
No.
Spring?
Supreme's good. Meat lovers.
All right.
No
I'm on.
pineapple, no pineapple.
Oh, I love pineapple.
I got you.
On the side.
Pineapple and jalapeno. You just don't know.
Okay, we ready for the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next COA is 211 Northeast Bernard. That is where Craig Bakery was. And is it Haley that's here?
Haley and Judy.
Haley and Judy are here. And I took the liberty of trying to, put a guide page together. There's a lot of stuff that they're wanting to do, and I wanna make sure that your pages are in the same order as mine. So, the exhibit page would be number 2. The one that has like the dark line would be 3. if you wanna number them, because I'm gonna refer back to
Yes,
them a
ma'am.
lot.
Wait a minute, what
I
now?
put it into the.
Okay, I just didn't know if it was numbered. It might be.
There.
So your number, so here's your number.
Ours are 13, 14,
Look at it.
15.
See the bottom of your page?
Starts on page 11.
But is it numbered like to what my?
No.
No.
No,
You-
yeah, it's okay. So it's like this could be number 3, if you just wanna quickly put that on there, I think it'll go faster.
What else?
And then this one's 4,
Oh, wait.
okay? They're probably in order.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
5 is the one that shows the windows. 6 is the back with all the wood. 7 is the yard.
Yes.
8 is the yard again. And then 9, 10, just keep going in that order. I think that'll make it easier.
9,
9 is that back door, Miss Heather?
9's the back, that's the
9 is the back door.
Okay.
No, that's the front.
That's a
front.
Or sorry, the door though.
10 is the front again,
10
with
is
the
the front.
post. 11 is the post again. And probably 12 is the logo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know there was one, okay, colors somewhere. No, I had one that she had sent in a Word doc with colors.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, Word doc.
And I had that somewhere.
I have it right here.
Too, now I can't find it.
Where am I going?
Oh, one with-
yeah, I do have it.
Yeah,
Oh, I
down
don't
here.
have it. Is it two-sided?
Yeah.
This or is it
No, I
two-sided?
don't-
Mine was two-sided when I printed it
Yeah.
at home, but I don't know.
Here it is. I might have to steal yours.
What's that on?
Okay,
I might have to. Okay, we ready?
so,
Extra. Oh, perfect. Yeah, Larry's got mine somewhere in here. Okay, don't mind if I walk it through real quick?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Let us introduce ourselves.
Yes,
This is Haley
absolutely.
Hill, this is Skipper Hill, and Haley Roller is our granddaughter, who purchased the property, and she's gonna take care of it for us and put a retail shop. Okay,
Thank you.
thanks, thank you, Steve.
Okay, so the first thing they're wanting to do is paint the building. Their preferred color is called porch step, and it's the darker color. And then, I think I emailed everybody if you had time to just run by there.
I didn't see the paint colors.
It was on the side.
Oh,
That's where I did too, I did the
I
same
did a
thing. I didn't
drive-by
realize it was
and
on the
I
side, I
saw it.
just drove across
Okay.
the front and went. And
So-
porch step is the name of the color
Porch step's the name.
for the
It's
exterior?
for the exterior. It's this darker color here.
Yep.
And that would be their preferred color that they would like to do the building.
and these are all on our list
This
of
is on your
approved.
list, yes.
Yeah, I got the number. I got the
Oh,
number.
you got the numbers?
Option 2 is rugged, which is lighter, but they would prefer option A. And then I put a little image of the colors from the building. I know it doesn't quite. So that's the first.
And this is just on the Crave building.
This is just on the Crave building, yes.
and this building was just painted.
Yes.
I think it's been painted several times.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
It was.
Like really within the last like 2
Yes.
months.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Because
So
it was-
Katie Moore
it was
came and
pink
wanted to
before.
paint it
You
for
might have missed
pink.
that, Miss Heather.
Oh, it was pink. No, I
Yeah,
did
it
say
was
I was
pink,
pink.
yeah, it was pink.
It was pink,
I didn't know if you had the pleasure.
I did, yes.
and then Katie Moore came and got, she came and picked out colors that were more appealing.
That's what I thought, yeah, okay, all right.
But
Okay.
is this porch step a gray or a purple? Because on all our pictures,
It's
it
kind
looks
of, it's
really
dark,
purple.
it's very dark,
Looks like an
It's a brownish gray.
like a brownish gray.
Okay.
eggplant,
Oh, do you have it, Jody?
On all my things, it's purple too.
very purple.
Where do you see?
Oh,
Well,
on these larger ones, when we get to
Yeah.
these printouts.
those.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's not that.
Which color is this one?
Porch step.
the porcelain.
Okay, did,
It's
What's
not
the-
green.
Let's get to the trim because that's gonna probably,
Okay,
So second, they want to put new windows in the front.
can we,
So currently, if you look at page 5, you can see what the windows look like today. And it has, I think it's like 16 pane window. They would like to
Oh,
put
yeah.
a 1 pane window in there. So it's just 1 pane. no
I'm gonna hold all
Fixed.
comments until the end.
Until the end,
Yeah,
Fixed.
fixed,
Fixed.
fixed, right, it is not open. And it would be the current material. We believe the current material is vinyl. I didn't actually get out and look, but whatever the current material is, that's what they would do. And then the trim would be black, which is noir,
More black on black?
black on black.
What?
Okay,
Black on dark gray.
black on black.
Black on black.
Okay, the back windows, they would also they're going to replace. They're
Okay.
going to put new windows in. Configuration of the panes would stay the same. And so if you look at page 6, you could see what the back windows would look like. They'd be new, same places they are now, same pane configuration. They would be white with the noir trim.
Okay, so 9 light, white,
Tell me if I'm just saying any of this wrong. Okay. Good so far? Yeah. Okay.
white vinyl.
Wait a minute, the back is gonna be painted porch step, the trim on the windows is gonna be black?
The trim on the windows in the back, the windows will be white. The trim would be
Be
black.
black, okay.
Yes.
Because they have the windows, or at least what we got here, it says black.
The color of the window, in the back is black. Yeah, the color in the back is black.
Yes.
All the windows are gonna be black, sorry, that's my.
Okay,
They're
so black
currently
vinyl 9 light. So we're going
black
for?
windows
Black vinyl.
with trim noir. Currently, they're white.
These are white.
So black with black with black.
Black with black.
And that's in the front and back?
Front in the back.
Front and back or just
Front and back,
black
black.
with this dark frame?
It works.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure everyone's got camera.
I did warn her that y'all might not love the dark in the dark, and that's why I put that second option on here, which is the rugged, which is a lot lighter.
We're waiting till the end. We're gonna take in the whole picture.
That's why we have option
Yep.
2. Okay, let's go to new doors. There are gonna be new doors on the building.
Which number are we on, Miss
Material would
Helen?
be
Which page
number
you want?
3. We're
Three?
on 3.
On this.
I have the metal roof. Oh,
That has
sorry.
metal roof.
No, she's going right here. New number 3 new doors.
She's on this thing.
Number 3, okay,
Okay.
doors.
Okay. New doors, material would be wood. They're currently wood.
Mhm.
This picture
The
4.
design would stay the same. Page 4, yes.
Okay.
Design would stay the same, and it would be stained in a pecan stain. So we're looking at number 4. That's what it would look like in general.
And what's this black thing that's on top of that? In my picture, I have like a almost like a
Maybe
Sharpie.
something.
Okay, I think that we're gonna get to that
Okay.
on number 6, when we get to number 6.
Okay.
Okay. If you go on to B, there were 2 doors on the back, if you look at. If you were to look at 7, and I'm not sure I called that out, I should have. If you look at page 7, now you can see there's 2 doors.
Mm-hmm.
The door on the left is going away. The door on the right would stay and be replaced with a wood door that looks the same and would be the pecan stain again.
But it's not the same. This is a picture window and this is,
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, the door would just be a wood door.
Can't tell what that one is.
It is, is it gonna be picture window like that instead of the, okay. What's,
the other door.
well, the other door has 3 lights on it, it looks like.
That's what?
Has 3 sections.
The old door on the back.
Yeah.
It'd be the same as the door that's there now.
It's gonna be.
Okay, so
Drawing and.
page 6, the door will actually have mullions just like the door does today.
Okay, and so I just have to back first for a second. So here's 2 windows on the back and this rendering only, or excuse me. This has, the window configuration is not the same in the computer rendering as it is in the photo. And then I can't tell what is going on over on the left-hand side
That is hard to say.
Are those more doors or what is happening over there?
Your windows.
You see those?
Why are they
over here?
white all the way down to
Two
the?
doors side by side and then their windows.
Yes.
We are having to move air conditioners off of the building next to us that are on their roof. And we have to move them from that building. And they're gonna come off of the top of our neighbor's building onto our property, and they're gonna put them down the ground where they should be in the first place. So we're gonna have to shorten the deck on the back to make plenty of room for those air conditioning units to come down on the ground and have plenty of room to get air and breathe. And then we'll take care of the drainage there off of the roof where they're gonna be. And then the patio on the back will be shorter than it was.
These
Because of
windows
that.
get
So
So are you
windows
changing the
go away.
windows or not?
No, the
windows
stay the
They look big though, and in the picture they're smaller. Yeah,
Well, that's my
It's not to
artistic.
scale.
Okay, but
okay.
that's
So the windows are gonna
So,
stay
the
exactly the
windows-
same. They just look a little different in the
The only
picture.
thing
Well,
that would
there's
cause
like
us
that
to have to move those
Why
windows
is that
if
white
the
below?
AC
I don't know.
say that we need to move them for some reason, because the air conditioning units that are on the building next to us, our units, have to come down, and that's the only place they can go.
So,
How old is this?
my question is,
Is it
I know she's taking them
anything
off the
historic?
roof next door.
Yes.
1960s?
She gonna are you gonna put those exact units that you're taking off? Okay, that was
Yeah,
my,
we've already had, the electrician's already been said they're in excellent condition, and there
okay,
won't be any problem.
because she kept talking about changing the windows, so.
okay, and the two windows on the farthest left, what is that white below them? Is that just a,
Junk.
is it not painted?
Looks like
See, I'm looking
it
at
looks
the
like
act-
shutters.
Yeah, it looks like shutters, that's what I thought it was too.
It's just junk powder.
No, ma'am,
It's-
below,
here.
on the wall, yeah, maybe Miss Heather can
What
show
is
you.
the door going into our neighborhood?
All right.
No,
No,
Like
that's
this
not
right
what's done.
here, are these shutters?
What's,
No, it's shiplap, isn't it?
It's shut-
is it just not painted or something?
Oh, it's just, the back is every color in the world, and everything electrical
Oh,
about that
come on.
building is just slapped onto the back of it. And we're having to do the best we can to make it work. I mean, the electricity's coming through everywhere, the old electricity is all still hanging there. It's just, it's gonna be a good deal on the back, but it's not gonna change anything other than that one door leaving and possibly the two far windows on the left, if the AC guy thinks that that would be better not to be windows.
So that's just shiplap below there, are you gonna leave it?
Yeah, well, yeah, because he's gonna try to utilize as much of the old shiplap as possible.
Okay, so you
To
do
cover the
need
door.
to have some. If you're wanting to walk out of here with everything approved, you will have to decide if you're removing windows or not. Like, we will need to know
Unless-
that.
If the AC guy
So
says we have to, but they won't know until they.
no, they won't know till they do it.
So you have to do this.
So we can't approve that portion of it. We
Okay,
will not
that's
be able to.
Then they'll stay.
Right,
Or
they
you can
need
come
to
back.
know.
You can always come back with, yeah.
Well, you know.
We're here every month. Okay, we're ready, Miss Heather.
Okay,
All right, so the
Okay.
two windows are staying.
two windows are staying, shiplap below would stay. Would it be painted the color of the trim or the building? The whole
What is?
back, the whole back is wood, right?
It'll be painted the same color, and then what we had wanted to do, because of everything out there, we've got to cover up some of that old wiring and electricity. And everything, we wanted to be able to halfway up do shiplap and it be stained. The pecan color like the wood, like on the doors. But that's not a must, we can paint it all solid like the rest of the place.
What's gonna be in replacement of the door that you're removing?
Solid wall,
Okay.
A what?
or wall, is solid, because that's where we're.
Wall it up.
Yeah, it's just doing away with it because it's two doors or not. That used to be two separate buildings, so
Right.
I think we made, is the reason for the door, the two doors.
And have you purchased this building?
Yes, we.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
So we're on to number 4. And
Okay.
she just described, they're going to have to tear down the porch. The air conditioners are gonna come down, they're gonna sit on the left side. The porch is gonna be a little smaller. They would come back, it's gonna be a wood porch, and it would be stained the color of the pecan stain, which is the same color as the door.
But these are the air conditioning units for the building next door.
Yeah.
I think they service, they are theirs, for some reason, they're sitting over on the other building.
Oh,
Yeah, they were on the other building.
I think that's because the Moores own both
So
buildings.
that's why they're moving them down on the
Gotcha.
property.
Yeah, that's what we
Okay.
were told.
Yeah, they own both of them.
They're on top of the old auto parts store.
okay.
Okay, so talk to me about this new porch. So it's gonna be stained pecan. It's gonna have a new metal awning, just like it has, like a standing seam
No,
of some
it's gonna
kind.
be wood. It'll have cedar posts. The awning was not on the building originally. There's absolutely nothing about that awning that's original. It was just stuck up there.
So
It's
the
a mess.
awning's gonna be wood now.
It will be wood and the posts will be cedar posts rather than those metal posts. But there wasn't an awning at all. That awning is not original. It's probably, I don't know, what time frame, maybe? I don't know.
Is that gonna be shingled?
Pardon me?
Is that gonna be shingled down on
No,
the
it's
top?
all, it's just, it's a metal.
Okay.
Well, that's what-
we're
but
saying.
now-
Yeah, that's what we're
That's
saying,
what
yeah.
it's,
Them days
Okay.
right there.
So metal.
So the minimum, okay.
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 Metal.
with wood, metal with wood, kind of like it is right here now.
But it'll match the roof on the building
Right.
rather than be whatever, I don't even know what color it is
So-
now.
Wood, she's talking about would be under.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's metal
just-
over it. Right.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, they're gonna build a new fence, 6-foot privacy fence. And you can see the picture on page 8 with the same pecan stain. It would have black post.
The old fence that's there now, the tops, all different heights, and then the gate that's there is what, 2 foot higher than the fence?
And it's all chain link, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 6. Number 6 is the question that you had. So if you look at number 9, over the door where you were asking what that black mark was, that's gonna be awnings that are over the door, 2 black metal awnings that go over the door.
And they're a very small awning, they don't stick out like the normal awning, you can, don't you have a picture of them there?
There's a picture on it, yeah, we have a picture.
Okay.
We have lots of
On the
pictures.
front door?
That's fine.
Oh, I found mine.
And then they're gonna move the street number off of the door onto the side by the door. It would go down, it would be 6-inch letters that say 211. It would be black.
2.
Wait a minute, they're gonna be black?
Not black.
Oh.
You couldn't see them.
I looked at our color and I didn't catch it until right when we walked in that you
It
were
has
black.
to be contrasted by.
So what color would?
They have to be diamond encrusted.
I don't even know what color is it now. I think
The
it's-
same gold that it is now.
Yeah, they just painted it over.
Yeah, they have to contrast. with
Okay,
that.
now they're gonna be
That's
gold.
a fire ordinance.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
So they're gonna be gold?
gold.
No.
No?
No.
I don't know.
No, I'm only saying that because if you could see inside how much gold there was.
Oh, I know. I'm
There
aware.
was a lot of gold. Maybe I guess, a cream color probably,
That would contrast.
that would come.
Mhm.
Platinum maybe? I'm just thinking.
Platinum sounds good.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
to me.
That would.
So I can put down platinum? Is that?
Well, we're gonna discuss
Or
it.
just-
we have.
Sure.
Okay,
We'll have to go back item by item.
last but not least, signage.
Can I just
Oh,
interrupt real
yes.
quick? Because did I miss, the whole metal roof is gonna be this,
The metal roof, throw that one sideways.
okay, is this for the entire building or was this just referencing the back porch?
No, that's the side that faces, and I'm told it's not an alley, I keep calling it an alley, but it faces the back of the stores on the square. Is that changed?
Is the
It's
roof,
just a reference for the measurement of the building.
Where, are you replacing the roof on top of the actual
No.
structure? Okay, no.
okay, signage. The sign on the left is going to be, they're getting rid of that sign. They would like to keep the sign on the right, but raise it up so that it is the appropriate height to meet code.
Yeah, 6'8".
Yeah.
6'8".
Yeah.
And then it would have the Flexi Clothing Company logo on the front and the back.
Would it still be square like that, or it's gonna be round like this?
It would match what the pole that's there. The logo itself is circular, so it stays.
It'll fit in there.
So it would still be rectangular with the logo inside. And that,
The only thing you haven't added on here is lights. You plan on adding any lights on the front?
That's a very good question.
It's really dark
No,
down
we have so
there.
many other things to think about.
Because they have to come back for that.
It's gonna be a really dark building with, in a really dark place.
Well, we have talked to Dwayne, I guess, about that to see what we could use, whatever else we could use it in.
They have to,
Would anyone like to start?
well. All right, let's start with the color. Let's just go to item number 1 and let's start with the color. I personally think that if they paint it dark with black trim, that just makes that whole building exceptionally dark. And they purchased 211, 215 is still there, and that would be a huge contrast on that side of the road. And it doesn't most of the buildings in our historic district are of a lighter shade.
Well, I think, and I would like to ask you, like, I mean, you've been to Glen Rose, you know what the downtown aesthetic is, right? So, in working within that aesthetic, is there a reason why you're going uber modern, uber dark?
Other than you prefer those colors, I guess. But let me make it easier on you. The other color, we don't really, that's fine. The other lighter color, if you prefer that, that's fine. We're good.
Pretty tied between the two.
We had tried to make up our mind about the two, and so it's not really that big a deal to us.
Well, and
We
it's hard
prefer
for
the
me
lighter
to
color,
tell.
roll with it.
Jody, do you have the?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
because like
because
on
the
this
red
swatch
for
that
the
Miss
outline.
Heather provided, the contrast is much more contrasting. But when I look at it on that swatch,
Yeah.
it looks like black on black on black. So maybe,
Oh.
let's look at, oh wait, that's it?
Rugged.
that's the lighter.
That's
the
the
lighter.
That's the rugged.
Oh.
That's option 2.
That's option 2.
Okay, so.
And it's a beautiful color.
It is
so I mean,
beautiful.
It's no problem for
I
us.
like that better than the other, it's too dark.
And it'll be beautiful with the wood doors.
And all the black buildings are gonna.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, that's that porch step, that's the rugged.
See, this
And where's the
still
number?
looks purple to me. Still.
And where's the noir? Do we not have that?
Yeah, right here.
See, that's just a lot of black
Yeah,
on black on black.
Black, yeah, the two,
You-
yeah, that,
You'd hardly be able to tell the difference.
that's
Okay.
pretty.
It's still contemporary design, but it's,
The
at least it
contrast.
won't look like there's just a hole there.
Well, and the building is very
Small.
the square,
yeah.
kind of cinder block building. I mean, there wasn't a lot you could do to change that, you know, there's not a lot. you can do.
No, because you only have 25 feet wide by 100 feet deep. That's all you've got there.
Well, and the building's not even that deep. The building's only 46 feet.
I'm talking
You
about
have the
your
lot and everything.
lot,
Yeah,
pardon
sure.
me, excuse me. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I mean, there wasn't, and the back of it is just, it's even right now, until you get it all hauled off, it's a mess.
You're gonna haul the storage buildings that are back there, and there's storage buildings back there?
That's
No.
about it.
No?
Like maybe somebody took them or already got them, I don't know, we didn't get them.
There were some metal buildings back there.
I'm not sure they're on their property.
Oh,
That property behind them is not
Further back,
theirs.
yeah.
They only go so far
Far
back.
back.
yeah, they go 100 feet and then they back up to the thrift store, which is the county property.
Okay.
All right, so next,
Well, okay, so
Switch.
we're gonna, okay, so the
I think
paint,
we should go through the whole thing before we,
no, yeah, so, okay. I agree, I just,
so we like the rugged better.
yes.
Does anyone disagree?
No.
I think we're actually in agreement on that one. No, I didn't.
You want that number, Linda?
Yeah,
Very
the number for the
30089C is the number.
30089C.
3008.
9C.
9C.
Okay.
Okay.
Rugged.
So let's talk about the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, the current windows are wood. They're actually awning windows, they flip out, correct? They're what?
Yes, they do flip
They
out.
flip
Yeah.
out.
We're just not 100% sure on what material they currently are.
I'm pretty sure they're wood.
The hinges that are on there are brand new. So I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, that's because she started using them, so they probably didn't, they were probably painted shut at
They are painted shut
Yeah.
now too.
Do we have any pictures of this building historically? Now, this building is not it's not really old, it's not
I
a
tried,
contemporary of our, most of our downtown.
I tried to find pictures of it. I even went over to, Dennis Moore to see if he had any of them. And we've looked for pictures there and we looked for pictures at the genealogy library. The only option we would have, there are none, like just in general. The only other option we would have had, but it was time constraining, was to go through all the yearbooks to see when it was the barbershop and all of that, to see if they had taken out an ad in the yearbook. That was our option.
Don't we have would there possibly be a permit on file with the city for when they built it?
Well, I'd have to look in the file and it could
Do you
be,
guys
Could
have
be a
something
no,
back that far?
because our codes, our codes didn't go back that far.
1980?
It might have, I don't know when they started. I don't
That's
know when
what
the
we
code
heard.
started, it
Somewhere
was
in
in
the
2018. When? When did they start codes?
That, I believe that building, well, they started, I'm not sure about the codes.
What did we decide the building date was, 60
The-
something?
The building
64?
is. Well, I know this is incorrect. From the CAD, it says the year it was built was 1840.
It's not right.
So, it does. I'm sorry to tell you, it says the main area year built was 1840 from the CAD.
Off by a little bit.
They're off by a little bit, but I think the part that they got at 211 came in the late 60s, the early 70s.
Style wise.
Okay, I'm not super sold on the windows yet, if you guys want to.
I'm not sold on, here's my thing on the windows. The windows that are there have character to them, to that building that doesn't have a lot of character to it. It appears from your drawing that you want to make them bigger. Is that correct?
No, not much. They're about the same thing. I think they're 5'6".
There's a bigger box around them on the
A
drawing.
tad bigger than they currently are.
Yeah.
So you want to remove the brick that's on that building?
One row,
One row is all it is. to go.
No, that's,
But it'll be used, it'll be put back
no.
to cover up the vents that are on the bottom.
Now you want to cover up the vents on the bottom?
These,
Oh, the vents stay, never mind.
Okay.
See, Jody, can you go pull 211's file for me, please, for all of us?
Yeah.
Go pull 211's file.
Because what you're going for now with these picture windows, it's very, very contemporary, it's very modern, and it's really starting to detract from the building, and also, in my opinion, the aesthetic of the downtown, as it's not cohesive anymore. It starts to make this building really kind of stand out in a way that I don't think fits.
The windows are necessary for It's a shop, you need windows to.
Well, yes,
have-
ma'am, you can have windows, but generally we like to replace like with like is what we prefer.
You replace what?
Like with like similar to the style that is already there.
Well, but I mean, why would we wanna put that window that you can't see into the building when it's all panes? And it would be painstaking to clean them all.
Because our
and
job
everything.
is to follow guidelines that that have multiple, are trying to achieve multiple effects. One is to maintain the character of this building, first and foremost. Second, maintain the character of the buildings that are in the historic overlay within our town. And then also to maintain what is in our historic district. And so while this is not a contributor to that district, it is within the boundaries of it. So we have a lot of different things we have to follow, and that's why we sit here.
Right.
So
And
that's
this
just my
building was
opinion.
built in
I-
here?
I could be
Yes,
completely
yeah.
outvoted on that.
Even in the
I said that's just my
60s,
opinion. I could be
60s.
completely outvoted here.
I think that everything we're doing to the outside is gonna improve it considerably. And I mean, especially.
In the
when
right
we're
place
seeing
and the
this
right
what we're
time,
seeing.
I would agree with you, but in this particular place and time, I'm not sure that it does.
There is a
I'm
motion.
curious, are these not the same kind of
Is that
windows that are
215?
in the majority of
this is
the
211.
downtown buildings, the
This is
single
the other one,
pane?
this is the one.
I might have to go down and look at them.
Campbell building
We have a lot of different buildings downtown.
The first around this way.
Hang on,
Single pane.
Blair?
They don't go back.
On the lower side?
Oh, they go back to 2020.
What if it has less mullions? Like, I think what they're saying is they'd like, I'm just.
Oh,
getting-
Yeah,
Oh, right, that's what I
Right,
mentioned, I thought
that
this
they'd
was
like
like
to
in the
see
window,
stuff in
and I
there
get
and all
that,
those
yeah.
16 little panes, maybe there's 4, or maybe there's a compromise. Like, if I'm looking at the Campbell building, I just pulled it up, it has
Well,
like
that
one
will
mullion
do
down the
what she's
middle.
wanting to do, keep those windows. But all the windows around the plaza, around the square, are exactly what we're.
Well, they're all different around the square. So I mean, I don't know. I'd have to walk around and look at every, and again, not all the buildings are of this time period either. So
Could it have less panes, I guess is the question. Than the 16 little,
It's 15 now.
15.
Yes, 15 panes now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 panes. It looks like 6.
18.
Or is it 18?
6 or 6, there's 18 panes.
Yeah, 18.
Okay, there's, this is just the, no, this is the plumbing permits and all after. I think this is what I think, but of course, I don't know. But I do know before Crave went in there, that side of the building had been vacant for numerous years.
Long time.
A long time. Then, when, Katie and her husband took over the automotive, they got that, and then that's when they put Crave in, they rented that building to Crave, and they did a bunch of work on it at that time. That's where the building permits come from.
what windows are on the building next to it, on the automotive one?
We need pictures, we need pictures.
They're
down
multi-
there.
general
I
store.
know.
The
That's what we're
general
gonna do
storage
next
one.
time, we're gonna pick.
No, but do we know, they have,
multi pane windows. Pretty sure.
You know, I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure they have multi.
can I do street view on my
I
map?
don't
I
think it's
think you
that
can.
many. I don't think it's that many panes.
On the building, on the one next to
I
it,
think the automotive.
I don't have the historic resource survey for the,
I don't think I can.
Within our,
215 is, which is next
It's the
door.
automotive, yeah.
215
Yeah,
is, hang on, 215,
But if you look at, like, Feast has big pane windows, I've got it open now,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're bigger things.
Cracks in Time. have pane
well, that was a general dry good,
Right.
that was, next to the palace was, a general dry goods store back then and had big open bays when it was built.
Trying to go down the street. Walnut Street building has pane windows. Most of them are bigger pane, but they have like an A mullion or.
Yeah. I think the only one, if I'm, the Levita's at 114, it has larger panes, and then it has glass blocks on one side of it.
Yeah, the glass.
Yeah.
And, so see, they've got larger pane windows on 215.
Yeah.
It appears that those are actually pane windows on 215.
Jody?
They're bigger.
I didn't see it.
Those are,
So, yeah.
can you get by
It
me
looked like-
six? Was it 6 panes in that, 6, 12?
There's 12.
12? Oh, okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. 12.
But the thing is that the ones on 211 look like they're wood windows. These look like
I was
they're,
gonna say, those have been replaced.
those have been replaced and they're a different material and they're not as heavy looking as those.
Like those look more like
Those look like aluminum windows
on the
on the automotive. Mhm.
Okay, and they're keeping both doors. I mean, I understand what her wanting to get more, because it is a store and you want to put a window front, I get that. Oh, you know, from 18 to.
Maybe 6.
I'm not sold on the windows.
Okay, so I've got a thought here. What about if we replace them with wooden? It's a lot more money, but that's okay. It's that big a deal.
Well, our concern
It's
is
not
about
it's not whether it's wood or vinyl, it's the paint, how many,
the fact that it's a paned window rather than just a sheet of glass. So
So see, that's pane across the street.
if we could maybe do a 6 or 8 instead of 16, so that it's still a paned window, but it's
Some kind
not,
of feature.
Yeah.
and maybe
The
keep them
Campbell
the
building
same
has
size. so
paned
that
windows.
if you
Well, they're
can,
not paned.
I don't know what standard sizes would be on
They're
those.
big panes with like a.
Yeah, they're-
Yeah, with one
Yeah,
down.
But
the
that's
middle,
not, yeah,
That would be.
that's a double hung. I think yours are
Jeez,
double
yeah.
hung.
It'll get custom size.
Mhm. So that larger size is a standard, that larger one they're talking about
Yeah, it would, yeah.
is the standard
That would
size.
get
We have to put the same size window in there.
So you're back over there with the
Can't put
balance.
it in brick.
I'm sorry, what's that, ma'am?
We have to put the same size window in. We can't put anything smaller because the brick, we can't get any more than brick.
Well, yeah,
Right.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
we're not talking about a smaller,
No,
No,
not that.
we don't want you to have to
we're not-
reframe in anything.
we're not talking about smaller, we're
We
talking,
don't want you to go bigger, that's for sure.
What would you think about, you know, 12 panes or 8 panes instead of?
yeah, I mean, to me, if you could do like an 8 pane or, something, doesn't have to be like this, doesn't have to be 18. Then you'd have more visibility through it, but you'd still have a paned window to give the building,
And you're gonna make that fixed? You're gonna fix them? Fix them, oh boy.
Fix them,
Fix them.
fix
They're
them.
not gonna hold it.
I know.
So they're gonna look exactly like that then? What's on the automotive, because those are
Right.
black, those are vinyl, those are less paints.
it takes
What do
away
you
from the,
think?
it takes away from the character of the building.
It does, it
It
does. I
absolutely
like the
does.
multi-pane, but I understand the purpose of what she's trying to do too.
What is your
But
shop
that's not,
gonna
that's
say?
not my purpose.
That's
not what our
It's not our
purpose is.
purpose.
I'm
I
sorry.
get it.
the whole family,
No, what's,
men's,
what?
women's and kids.
Oh, okay, so it's clothing? Okay. My husband will be happy. He says there's no men's clothing in town.
You know, when we were talking about that, I said.
Okay, so,
men's clothing store.
Okay.
All right, what
back
do you
to
wanna
the
do with the
windows.
windows?
Okay. Can we just skip it and go on to something else?
What do you want?
Well, we have
You
to
wanna go to the
approve or
back
not approve.
windows?
Oh, we haven't done.
Well, I don't think we're approving anything or not approving anything yet,
No.
No.
because, let's see how this all plays out.
Okay. Carry on.
Back windows.
Back windows.
Back windows, you're not changing anything, you're staying with those, they're gonna be black.
Are you replacing the back windows?
It only if they need to be.
Yeah, they're 6-pane. I don't know what size they are, but they're 6-pane windows.
I believe there's one that is cracked, so that one would be replaced.
Just the pane.
Yeah, just the panes. No, not the whole window, just the panes that are broken.
And those are wood and you want to replace them with vinyl too?
No,
I think they're
all we're
leaving the
replacing
windows.
is
They're leaving the
panes.
windows,
They're
yeah.
leaving the back windows the way they are.
But she
But you're
called.
gonna paint the trim,
Right,
Noir.
the trims.
They're just gonna paint the trim on.
and black. What I'm hearing.
So all the windows in the back, you're just gonna do what to now?
They're just
Paint 'em?
replacing the broken glass.
Paint, replace broken glass and painting the trim
Black.
noir.
This one.
All right, does anybody have any questions or comments on, I guess let's do both doors at the same time. Let's look at the front doors with the pecan stain. They're essentially gonna stay exactly the same.
Same size,
Yes.
everything.
Frame stays, just replace the
And you're gonna paint the trim around it noir?
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question, something that's not on here mentioned, but are we leaving the steps? Are we doing anything with the steps?
It's
Oh.
just concrete, it's like, I guess it.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if you had any, was there anything?
They do
You were
need
gonna
to
do
be
with those?
replaced, but we didn't know if that was us or a sidewalk thing.
I don't think we own them, do we?
There's
not
really a step, it's kind of a brand,
it's
a
Yeah, that's kind of a weird.
That's why I asked.
There is
We had thought probably we
on
would
the
power
square
wash.
about replacing sidewalks, but that has not come about yet. It will happen. At that time's when I would address
The owner owns the sidewalk, right?
it.
Yes.
Nope. They're only a foot off the building. Rest of the sidewalks, it's public right of way.
What's that? You've always been told the owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's.
Yeah,
that's the way
that's been told a lot, but that's fictitious. It was staked out and the surveyor showed me exactly, it's about a foot off the building.
Yeah, on Office
On
Square.
there, no,
Oh,
no,
just on
just
there.
on this building,
Oh,
this
okay.
building and the one next to it.
Okay.
I can't tell you the rest of them unless they survey it.
Okay, so the sidewalk in front of this building belongs to the city of Glen
It's in the
Rose.
right of way, except for the 1 foot in front of the building.
Which is
It's 1 foot.
Yeah, so that
So
weird,
we should
yeah.
fix
Well,
all the
and
way up
that's
to the
what
1
the-
foot and just leave that for them?
No. When it happens, it'll happen.
Fix the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna try to get.
So Heather,
something
that
for
answer
you.
your question?
All right, and so the back door, so the front doors, no one cares about
They
these?
staying the same,
They're just gonna
This
be
be stained wood,
wood.
it's just gonna be, yeah,
Okay.
stained pecan and trim noir,
yes.
and still with doors. Okay.
Alrighty, let's go to the back doors. Same door. Pecan. Does framing and a door constitute?
But she's changing the door out,
One.
is that correct?
She's taking that door to the left out, correct? Yeah, and walling it up, yeah.
The left door comes out
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna leave the right door with the paned windows in it as this, not as
Yes.
this. Okay, that's, okay. Okay.
Okay. So are you gonna stain this or paint it?
Stains, just like the front.
So you are replacing the door completely, you're just,
Not the frame, just the door itself, just like the front.
That's what I just asked.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
same,
okay. And it will be a single pane window, because you're not gonna do these 3 windows again, right? You're not gonna even find that probably.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
I don't think you're gonna find
should
it.
be the same door.
with the 3.
if we're gonna stay, they won't be.
Yeah, this shows a single pane.
This shows a single pane is what you've asked us to review.
But we'll have to have a new door because that, if we're gonna stain it, that door is so new.
Well, that's what I'm trying to.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
You're getting a whole new door. Okay, that's,
One pane.
that's what that's why I
You're gonna
asked.
find this.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think you
No.
will either with one pane.
Okay.
No, that's sixties.
Stain it. Done.
Okay.
All right.
I think she could have built a new building.
I know,
I-
bless your heart.
Does anyone have an opinion about framing in the door to the left?
You're just gonna frame it in and put, is that just wood back there, or is that some kind of shiplap or?
Shiplap that's on the back of the building.
Okay.
Utilize as much of the real as you can, but I mean, it's so chopped up back there because you've got two doors and hanging windows.
I'm
So
sure
there's very little wall back there.
Mhm.
What wall, the wall that's painted green there in the middle, is that also shiplap? Just, okay.
It's just baby every color.
Wow. Bless your
And that's
heart.
gonna be painted the same rugged as the rest of the building?
Okay.
Okay. Let's see what's next on here, folks.
Back porch.
The porch.
Yes, porch. I don't have any problem with that.
I mean, is any of the back of it visible from anywhere?
It's not
Yes.
visible from the street.
It certainly won't be with the fence.
Yeah.
True.
It won't be with the fence, but today it's visible
From the,
From the
from
chain.
the lot.
from the lot.
Yes.
From, yeah.
I don't have any construction periods on any of this, so it's,
Yeah, we couldn't find anything to tell us when this portion was added or whatever it was.
Got 1860.
Yeah, about 1840
Yeah,
according to the deed.
so I don't think you're gonna detract from the building by, at all by
No.
by redoing the porch, basically kind of how it is, but upgrading it all with wood and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It needs to be.
That way
Oh,
nobody
God,
falls
yeah,
through.
you can tell it needs
Yeah,
it.
so.
Oh, yeah.
Now, are you also gonna add a new wood porch to or decking, excuse me?
So it's currently the wood decking now.
You gonna keep
but it-
that?
Yeah, we'll replace it with new, because it's uneven and.
Well, then you have to
Right, you
step
were
up.
gonna,
out of the building.
you were gonna lower it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna lower it down because
yeah.
the threshold is below the deck. So they're gonna lower the deck down with new wood.
We're seasoned.
It's
That's
not
special.
metal at all.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Okay, and then are you gonna try, I know you'd mentioned also the power lines and all these different various lines, are you going to try and hide those somehow on the building or?
Yeah, any way we can,
Scott, didn't you do something like
Blaine
that?
said that he thinks it's possible.
No?
That's, is that bad?
Y'all didn't hang,
No,
y'all
that's
didn't.
good. That's good.
No, that's-
Oh, I went under my building.
No,
I was talking about the sign.
the sign, yeah.
Okay, yeah, when we did that, yeah.
You trenched
Well,
it.
because we had one electrician who wouldn't want to go under the building, and that was my idea, and I called another one, Brandon, right, to the other side of the building.
So do we need to have
They
any
don't
kind of
have that
discussion on that? Of
Well,
how
once,
you're gonna attach all these lines to the building or, I mean,
The electrician will take care of it.
I don't-
Yeah,
It's gonna have to be
We got
in that code.
yeah.
Yeah. we
Yeah,
got
so it's a
that.
code
As
issue,
with
so,
that,
okay.
the
Yeah.
code, yeah, the
Okay.
electrician will do it to
The
code.
electrician will take care of
We
it.
will not make them use historical wiring.
No,
Yeah, no.
I just wanna make sure it's not
We got
anything
some
we have
dogs
to.
and
No,
shit.
we don't
Stop you.
Okay. I think the next one we're going on to, the awning, or no, sorry, the fence.
The fence.
Let's go with the fence.
And how tall is this? 6 foot? Okay. How tall is the chain link right now?
You know, I don't recall, but it's.
Maybe 4.
4 foot maybe.
Do we have jurisdiction over fences though?
well,
So that's the question.
the thing,
I
the only
don't-
thing
no,
that
I
we
don't
can
think
tell
we
her,
do.
the only thing we can tell her to do is she needs to make sure she gets a permit for that fence. That's all.
I don't
the
think they have
fence-
any say over what your fence looks like. Okay.
Not
I'm
at this
pretty
point,
sure.
because she's building a new fence. She's taking down an old one and building something new.
It's not supposed to be speaking on.
Okay.
So the only advice I'm gonna give you is make sure you get your permit.
Yeah, that's all we can do on that.
Your line.
And the awning?
Yeah, I think we are at the 2 metal black awnings over the front door. Is this metal, I should have asked, is the back porch also gonna be a black metal?
It matches the room.
So the
I don't know what
silver,
color
that
the roof
silver.
Currently silver now.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you, sorry, do what?
So what
Match the
color was
color.
the roof?
Match the roof.
It's silver,
Silver,
standing. Yeah.
so it's not going to be
It's your
black.
standard galvanized.
The roof on the building, that's what she was talking about.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
what she
I was asking about the back porch, if it was gonna be black
Oh,
like
that.
these or
No,
silver
no,
like
not the
that.
orange, back porch.
Can I guess your favorite color?
Can you guess what color my house is?
Okay. So we don't really have any reference for whether there were ever awnings on this building or.
The only thing we have reference
Yeah.
to, if there was ever any awnings, is that it does not appear that the mortar has ever been, or the eye bolts are still there. That's-
There
I
was a
thought-
green, there
I
was
thought they did.
There was a damaged green awning
It's
in her backyard.
But what
Yeah, but historically. when
I
we
was
like-
going historically, there wasn't any,
Oh.
to our knowledge, that, because we couldn't find any pictures to go back that far of this particular building. And the eye bolts would have been there from Craig.
Yeah.
So.
So again, our kind of goal is always to look back at the history of the building. But I will say that everybody has awnings downtown. It's a very
Yes.
popular thing. It fits in really well. I
A lot of them have
think
put up
it's,
that kind.
yeah, I don't have
Our main
any.
reason for them is when somebody comes here, it's pouring down rain,
Right,
you know.
Oh, yeah.
try to get
Yeah,
it
definitely.
nice, have a little cover.
Does anyone have any further discussion for the awnings or?
but they're
They're
gonna be
black.
black metal, black metal.
Okay, signage, I have no questions, comments on the new, address numbers or the sign out front at all.
Yeah, but they're wanting to take one of them down
For the pole.
and raise the other one to meet regulations.
I don't know that
And-
we have
and-
any.
When you take the non-conforming sign down, it stays down. The other pole is non-conforming but can go on as long as it doesn't get major changes. But they need
It's
to
kinda
raise that.
grandfathered
They
in.
need to
Yeah,
raise
they
the
have to
height.
raise it to the
But they needed to do
6'8".
that because it's not 6'8", it needs to be 6'8" bottom and side.
Okay,
Is that what
the ordinance.
that's what our ordinance says, it has to be 6'8"?
That's what the building code says.
Keep basketball players safe.
And then once you
6'8"
take
is-
down,
6'8" is your clearance.
So
That's
you-
the same height as your door.
and so you understand what Larry's saying is that once you take down that sign on the left, you can't ever put it back up again.
That's right.
It's,
But
okay.
the non-conformity can continue, but of course, we need to make it safe.
Oh,
That's what you were planning on.
so the one thing that we did not talk about, I'm so sorry to have to go back to this, but, okay, this back, rendering here. So you want to, on the back of the building, you want to put up a wooden wall on the,
I think that's
Porch.
just the porch, but it's just they didn't have the.
oh, it's not on the building.
It's not on the.
Okay.
No, that's just the porch. They didn't have like
To have the air
architectural
Okay,
ability to make it look like that's just, that's the deck.
That's the, that's the deck, and then that's the concrete over there for the AC
AC
units.
Well, it says down here, wooden wall on porch for concealing units.
It would be in between, so like the unit and to hide it. But it would not be attached to the building, it would just.
Okay, on that, are you putting a solid wood around those division units, because they have to breathe?
Oh, yeah.
No,
It's not.
she's putting it between, I think I understood correctly, because we'll have to look at that, you're putting it between the porch and the unit.
Pretty much. yes.
Right, yeah,
It's
just the
not
units.
attached.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think we have any say over that either, because you're not touching the building, it's removable. I don't
Yeah.
think that's in our jurisdiction to comment on that.
It would be good for you to consider lighting though,
Yes.
and, take a look at what you might want to do and then bring that to us. Take a look at what other people have done and
Okay. So that helped a lot. And I will tell you why, because I thought you wanted to do like a pecan stain, like all, on the actual building. And I thought you wanted to do it above like a
I know.
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
not a border, but
I was like,
Which-
the whole thing was just.
so I mean, it was
black
a
on black.
really, really different concept in my head. So thank you, really thank you for walking us through that. So now we're back to Melinda being a fuddy-duddy on Melinda.
No, I'm kind of right there with you. I'm
Okay.
the daddy to your Fetty.
Windows.
But I do like your logo a lot.
Yeah, I love that
It's
logo.
a lot of
That logo is awesome.
silver.
The logo is awesome.
Very pretty.
Very
So
Very
here,
inviting.
here's what I would have to say. I think that the wood windows are very rare. They're most often replaced with vinyl. We don't have anything, as far as I know. A lot of cities actually do have in their guidelines whether or not they'll even allow vinyl in their historic district. I don't think that we have anything that detailed. I would really like to see you keep the wooden ones that are there. I understand you don't want to. I'd like to see you replace them with wooden ones that are distinct and not quite so modern looking, like black vinyl.
We can do wood windows, we can do wooden windows, and rather than paint them black, we can stain them with that, get some more black for you. And just put the black trim around the windows on the wall, where the facing is around the windows.
Mm-hmm.
To tie it all in, do the new windows, and put in 6 panes. We'll just have to look, I don't know about how that works, we'll have to let Dwayne figure out about that. We could get 6 panes, I guess, probably. Were you talking about earlier about trying to match the windows in the building next to it?
Oh, we were looking at what they had. They have black
Looking at
vinyl.
what
If
they
you want
had.
to look at what they
I
have.
see it
Yeah.
every day, but I wasn't paying attention because we can't worry about what she's got, we have no idea what she'll do. We can't have any bearing on what she's gonna paint that.
Oh, no,
No,
but for
no.
us, we were looking at for reference to see what that
Would
looked
you
like.
Prefer these windows match those windows, not being vinyl?
No,
No.
not necessarily, no.
So 6 panes is enough or not? Because there's no point in us replacing them if we have to put any more than that.
Why is everyone looking at me?
No, I'm sitting here going,
I know
I'm
what you're
listening
saying.
to
I know
her.
what she's saying and I know what you were saying and I'm trying to.
She needs more light in her building.
I don't think it's about light. I think it's about display, about people being able to see
Display.
inside.
Display.
Yeah.
Because they had mentioned earlier getting more light in that building and you don't get it with these.
Mm-mm.
I would like to see the wood windows put back. I'd like to see, the trim could be, black as she's wanting to do. But I'd like to see her get the light, but I would like to see the wood windows put back. And again, I'm gonna emphasize, they're gonna be fixed. They're not gonna open, right?
Correct. Because it's 110 degrees.
And I don't, this, I guess when I sit up here, I think my job is not always to be thinking about, I don't want any undue hardships on owners, and so I always try and walk that line, but it's not necessarily my responsibility to bring more light into the building. While I understand that, my job is to preserve the integrity of the building and not to diminish any character defining aspects that may contribute to the eligibility of that building. So, and to also bring a cohesive feel for the downtown. So, my agenda is just different when I sit up here. So I would
I
like,
respect that completely, however, this is not a no building.
well, it actually is a historic, it does meet the threshold for historic.
It's
Eligibility
an
has-
overlay district.
Yeah, it has not been evaluated on its own, but it is within our historic district, it's within our historic overlay, and it does meet the threshold for the National Register to be an eligible property. It just hasn't been evaluated, so, which I know, trust me, sitting up here, it's hard to look at buildings from the 70s and think that
Yeah, actually,
The
yes,
house I grew
I
up in
feel
is-
that.
While we may not consider them old, there are laws that actually do protect these buildings that we are required to follow. So, because it doesn't have an evaluation on it, that makes it a little harder for us too. So I would like to see the window replaced as close to possible
To what's there.
to what's there.
What do we have?
And meet you in the middle somewhere.
You're saying
16,
I'm
18
not
panels go
understanding,
to-
because you're saying you'd like to see the window replaced with an identical window?
I said as close to the
Well, I
original as
just offered you
possible.
wooden windows with 6 panes, is that not enough?
No one's voted on, it, so we haven't
haven't
quite got
got-
there.
A wooden window that'll be stained to match the doors, so you put 6 panes, I'd say 6 panes.
I think that works. I don't know if anyone else has
What-
anything in it.
Well, we have to vote on the whole thing, not each item, so wooden windows.
I think that's a good
Yeah.
compromise.
Ms.
I mean,
Heather, do you have any input as the HPO? I'd like to hear your feedback.
I think it's a good compromise, I do, because I think if you want it to truly stay the same, then they might as well just leave what's there, right?
Mhm.
Right,
Right, I would replace
Exactly.
it if you're gonna
Yeah.
keep it,
don't spend the money
don't
to,
spend the money, right? If you wanna make a compromise,
In a perfect world, they keep the windows that are there, paint the trim, paint the, mullions black and go on with it. That would be our, first choice. But in the spirit of compromise, so that you get additional light and more viewability into the store and, then I think,
And we appreciate it very, very much.
then I think if you do
And I think it'll be beautiful,
I think it'll look better than just the solid panes, the solid one pane window. It'll look more in keeping with
with the others. that
the
are
other
there.
buildings in the historic downtown, just in general, because that's what people come for.
And they're not gonna remove the brick.
See if you can find something that's 6, 8,
not removing the brick. Right?
Yeah,
windows
have to stay the same size.
That'd stay the same
size.
yeah, that would be an acceptable, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think it's a good compromise. I think that you
And I like the stains.
Yeah, the stain is pretty. No, I was just saying if they were to keep
But
the
she's gonna
existing
paint the
ones.
trim around it. Okay. Well, I was just,
Yeah, the doors are stained, that makes sense.
Orange and stained and they're trimmed.
Yeah.
and they're gonna stain and
Keep it
trim.
consistent. Yeah, it looked really pretty.
And I hate to ask this question, but just, can you guys clarify, you're gonna use clear glass, right? Nothing
No.
frosty or,
Clear.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess most people assume that, but let's just make sure.
You can throw glass block in there if you
A
need
little
to.
couple ice block windows, yeah.
But please don't. Okay,
Did we get through it all?
I think so.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
I
I don't think so. Larry came to visit with us and answered a lot of questions
Yeah.
when he was there, so. We'll probably bother you all the time, needing to know things, I wouldn't get all surprised,
That's fine.
because this is our first time with doing anything like this in an historical area, so we'll probably have lots of questions.
We're excited to have you.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to
Thank
thank you for all that you brought to us
We
to this meeting.
inundated you, didn't we?
No,
No,
this is.
No, I want to thank you.
You
go.
can train everybody. This was
This was,
amazing.
yes,
Brought it all at once.
thank you.
Let's
We
get
often
it all
just get
done.
scribbles. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
Or
No pictures.
or a page you can't write anything except the date.
Well,
When you get to our age, you don't have a lot
Well,
of
he-
time to spare.
When I drove
Back
by the
when
other
it's
day, I
every
saw
time
the
they
window
open up-
things removed. I knew it
they
was coming
fix
back.
something, they open another can of worms, so that's a can of worms, so that's a whole different ballpark.
Okay, I'm gonna try my best on this one. All right.
Just for me, because I have to do this.
Yeah.
Can we just go through and I'll make sure that on each item, I've got it on my sheet for the minutes that
Okay.
we're doing this. Okay, the building paint color is going to be rugged. Correct? Item 1.
Mhm.
The new windows are gonna be the same size wooden windows with 6 panes.
6 line, yeah.
Trim's gonna be painted noir and
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
gonna stain the wood the pecan.
Uh-huh.
Back windows, are replacing the broken glass and, gonna paint the trim noir. The new, doors on the front, it's still gonna be wood. Stained pecan, trim noir. Back door, same, they're gonna take out, replace the door with a one pane stained pecan and noir trim.
Mhm.
That left door in the back is gonna be filled in with the same current material, I think you said it was shiplap in the back. I almost really messed that one up. And then the back porch remodel, we're going to, let's see, we're actually kind of tearing it down. The awning's gonna be the same as it was, the porch will be, colored stained pecan. And they're gonna block off that one back door and it's gonna be, shiplapped, correct? And then all of it will be, painted, rugged, correct? Okay, and then a new, fence, which you guys go ahead, it looks gorgeous, by the way. And then the awnings are gonna be black metal. No.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the street signs, we didn't decide on the, I've got down here cream or platinum, or do we just,
I think since you changed to
Mhm.
rugged, that maybe they should be black.
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say,
that
we need
match
to revisit that.
Larry?
We're talking about the pole.
No, the
the
sign,
the street
numbers.
numbers. Now that the
Yeah, as
building
long
is a
as they
lighter color.
contrast.
Yeah.
That's the requirement.
So the more you can go back.
Contrast so they can-
You can have
Okay,
black.
where to go?
Can see it.
Do they wanna go with the black, or we gonna go with
You're
cream
gonna-
or
She
black?
wants black everything.
She wants black, you wanna go with noir?
Yep.
The noir,
Yeah.
okay.
It has, yeah, it has
They
to
will be
stand.
noir. Then on the signage, they're gonna remove the pole on the left, the other one's gonna go up to 6'8". And, lighting is to be determined at a later time. Have I got that correct?
I think so.
Does
Okay,
everybody think I got it right?
I hate to ask you
I
one,
think so.
one last question, just so we have it in our, notes, and I don't, it honestly. But the panes on the back windows are currently
Oh, yeah.
green. You're gonna paint those black or,
To match, yeah.
okay,
The
Okay.
door.
okay. So all the, okay. I don't want you to have to leave them green.
Okay.
Okay.
So moved.
So I was gonna say, so usually I have to go through that certificate of appropriateness and do all those corrections, but since Linda just did that, can I just motion for an approval? All right. So based on the summary that Linda just did, do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness application submitted by the Roller and Hill family? I don't know. For 211 Northeast Bernard?
I make a promotion.
Anyone? All in favor? 5-0, it carries. Congratulations.
We'll try to make you very proud. You'll be very proud.
Well, we're
I
so
think it's
glad
gonna
you guys
be
are
lovely.
here.
I think it's gonna be really, really, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you guys gonna be open on Sunday?
That would be her
No.
fault.
No, just Sundays.
Just Sundays?
Well, you know, I think that our square is not open enough businesses on Sunday, and I think it really takes away from our tourism. And,
Yeah.
all those people came for the eclipse. I went downtown on Sunday, people walking around, no business
No,
open.
No businesses.
You should have been down there like ushering them to your place.
Oh, I had enough. Oh, no, I got killed.
That's.
I was like the only restaurant open.
We had a lot
I mean,
down at the mill.
No, we had, yeah.
I died those.
All right, thank you guys for sticking
you,
with
thank
us.
you very
I know
much.
it's a little bit painful,
Tedious at times.
but we appreciate you. Thank
And we
you.
appreciate
Thank you.
For what you do.
Okay. Good night.
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay,
That's one incorporated.
Do we have a time limit on this thing?
No,
No?
that
Okay.
was as quickly as it could have, that was a lot.
that was.
It was
There
a
was a-
lot,
there was a
but
lot.
I like tried to organize it.
their application was amazing.
Yes,
That
it was.
Very thorough.
That, the guy that's doing their construction Dwayne Berta, I think his last name is. Megan and Tad have used them and said he's awesome.
Oh, good, good.
Okay, next certificate of appropriateness is coming from the city of Glenrose,
Ooh.
who would like to, I'm just gonna present it unless y'all want Troy to do it. Who would like to do a mural on the back of the CVB building, which I've already told them is on the National Historic Register. I've already contacted the state to see what the procedure would be if you guys were to approve it.
They want to paint over the stone?
No, it's on the back, so if you're like, it's the back part, tell me if
It's
I'm
stucco,
wrong.
I
If you're at Sexton Mill and you're looking at the back of that building, up at the top, and it's like stucco or something, it's not brick.
Okay.
Yeah, when you
It's
come.
not
in-
limestone?
No, it looks like stucco.
Why
to me.
can't I
Yeah,
look into
think
that?
it's
Have I?
stucco.
So their
I think it's
last,
limestone.
I thought it was
Thank you.
limestone.
It looks like stucco when you're,
It might be limestone.
Isn't
It's
that funky
limestone.
stucco that's over by like the,
Yeah,
China
this is-
Walk,
this is-
has a real weird stucco?
Yeah, we don't have an actual picture of what it looks like.
Or
I
is it
just looked it up
stucco
online.
over the line?
It's-
Yeah, yeah, this is
Oh,
like
here we
a
go. I got
flat surface.
do you have a picture of it, Jody?
She's.
It's hard to tell with what Google.
Okay, yeah, it just looks. You
Yeah,
can,
it's a flat, look at the.
just flat, it's
Okay,
not
so that's
brick.
where you want, okay, cause I thought,
I thought you
No,
were
not on the
on the limestone.
On the limestone.
I'm confused about the branding of this city. I'm very confused. We're dinosaurs and then we're not dinosaurs, and then we're
Yeah.
something else and then we're not that, and now we've got a cowboy and,
Dinosaur, the cowboy on it.
Not on this.
Oh, God.
but not on
I saw that.
this.
Well, I think the idea, and Rita's not here, but look, I mean, we have two things going on. We have dinosaurs, which we all know. And then we also have a Western flair or influence.
We have
if you will.
moonshine.
We have
Moonshine?
ranches. There's so many ranchers at every restaurant you will go to. There's all the events, the rodeo events at the expo. So the desire is to pay homage to our Western as well as dinosaurs.
I'm just, as a former marketing person, consistency is just,
Mhm.
and,
Yeah.
and we're all over the
So is this
place.
gonna be like consistently
Well,
going
how's
forward?
All-
two things all over the place when we have all the things that go on with the expo and so many
Mhm.
ranches around.
Ranches aren't what bring the tourists though.
Well, Western things do.
Yeah.
So-
But on the city
Expo
tower,
does.
on the water tower, y'all want a completely different color palette, a different design.
Is that on the water tower?
Yeah.
Yes,
But,
well,
It's just like, okay, well, let's just throw one more thing out there.
So
Yeah,
is she gonna use
I've got-
this on
I've got
the
whiplash.
forward
Well,
as
you
like
know, look, I mean,
marketing material?
that's you're gonna attract, first of all, I mean, we're talking the town square, so when you're talking about marketing, I mean, we have 99% of stores that are women's boutique clothing.
Yes, we do.
They don't have dinosaurs on
Yeah.
them. So, I mean, we're not really gonna be able to use the dinosaur brand to attract people to the town square. So if we could get some Western stores along with the Western events that we have at the expo,
I'm just not
Cowboy
sure.
Chocolate coming
Maybe.
in?
Yeah, Cowboy
The
chocolate,
shop,
that's
you know
great.
about
We
the
have John
chocolate shop, right?
Wayne.
Yeah.
John Wayne?
Okay, so I'm gonna take my
Mine belongs
hometown as an
to Robert
example.
Summers.
My hometown is known for a lot of different things, and murals are their jam. Like, they have an entire grant-funded system for this. They're all painted by local artists. They're all over the downtown. And they depict all different references to the historic period. The railroad is on one building, veterans and wars are on another building. The dairy ranching is on one building. So they really do pick up on all of the themes that apply to the town. So I will say that, but they are all cohesive, to some
Yeah.
degree. There's,
I just feel like there needs to be, whether it's colors or whether it's,
Well, and Bandera is
Theme
the
or-
cowboy
we
capital.
have, and look, it's all subjective.
it is.
But we have a lot of murals that are cartoonish, right? So we have the current ones in the town square, we have the ones at 67 and 144. We have the one on the side of the Dairy Queen. So we're not missing out on quote unquote that theme.
No, not at all, but it is a theme. It's sort of,
Right.
there's a consistency there, is
It's
what I'm saying.
consistently cartoonish.
Mhm.
Cartoonish.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't think the one downtown, the
No,
new
But
one we
they're
just got
not-
the one
is
with,
nice.
You
it's
see,
very
there's
nice.
a
yeah.
difference between, like, if you look at the ones in the downtowns that are really doing well, we're looking at Hyco, we're looking at Grapevine, we're looking at Waxahachie, we're looking at Georgetown, we're looking at Round Rock. They aren't this cartoonish like mural. They're sharp, they're, you know, sometimes, I guess, more modern. So they're not paying homage to, you know, the railroad per se.
Yeah.
They're not paying homage to
This was the original.
I know
there as,
So it's the second one, it's one on the back, right?
correct.
Mhm.
Off the
That's
Which
on
one,
my-
I'm sorry?
Well, the one that says
It's
we're
this
established in
one.
1874.
Well, Rita said that this could change
Oh, I
a
was gonna
little
say the
bit.
date was
It's
wrong.
just
On this
No.
one, right? Okay.
The county was established, yeah.
And I know she got opinions from Dennis on the incorporation of the town versus on the community.
Well, yeah,
You generally go with the
1875
incorporation of the town.
yeah, in the town was in the
Historic.
20s, was 1920.
Um,
I was gonna ask Heather,
Yes.
I called also, and you know, Catherine, they're out till Friday,
Yeah, she
the
didn't
whole
call me
state,
back. Right, that's why.
the whole state, who are over because I read the code and I wanted to be sure also.
Yes.
And so I called again today because she hadn't called me back, and all 5 who are over the THLs, which is what that building is independently, are at a meeting, including their supervisor until Friday, because I was trying to get some answers to some questions that I had about hanging a mural on this building with and all. So
I think we still have to go through that process.
I think we-
regardless of what y'all decide.
I think we do, because it says that if you alter it in any way, so they'll still have to contact the state, and even if we said it was okay, they may say it's not.
But they are, yeah, they might.
I'm just,
And I mean, we have an option also to do it as a sign.
A banner.
I kind of
So,
like, I like the
and
color,
it
because
makes
it is not colorful, and I think maybe it goes better
Right.
with the stone and the, that's just.
now let me ask you this, because I can't remember, you might remember. The back of that building lit,
I was just gonna ask if there was gonna be lights, that's how I was.
No, and there's a gutter right.
I see.
Right in the middle of
In
it,
the middle.
there's a
should we not move that gutter?
We can move the gutter to one side or the other.
Okay, but what about,
That's what that is.
and I know that you did not put it on this at all.
What's that?
You didn't put lights
Lighting,
on this, for this mural.
that's what I'm.
No. So,
You'll have to come back at additional time, but are you planning on lighting this mural at a later date? I mean, what's the point of?
yeah, I mean, it's there, but even the fact that it's kind of like a sun, you know, people in the morning, we get all these people coming in through town.
Right, but my
So-
whole questioning was, no, I agree with you, I'm not disputing it, is that are we? Because we look at this, and we're painting on the back of the building, you're gonna catch them coming off of 144 into town, coming from down at Walnut and Morgan and those, and Clifton and all that like that. Are we not gonna, I mean, you talked about putting lights in the historic downtown.
Yeah.
I like to see the gutter moved, and if we're gonna go to this approval rate, I'd like to see lighting at some point or another. I mean, we have no say-so at this point in time, because you didn't ask us, I'm just,
He'd have to come back if they.
oh, no, he has to come back, yeah.
Yeah, he would have to come back. If they decide to light it.
Yeah, I was just asking if that's what they had intentions of it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as whether it's painted on or signed, I don't think we're married to either.
Right, so I mean, paint is temporary, and so it is considered reversible.
Yeah.
However, on that particular stucco, you're really okay. If it were gonna go directly on the actual stone, then you have an issue, because removing it is an adverse effect.
Right.
And we've seen that over it, if you look at, where Miss Jennifer,
Yeah.
Love and Amen is, she tried to remove the paint, and now she's got splotches that
Yeah.
aren't coming off. And so even reversible things.
Was that painted on, by the way?
Yeah, that black paint was painted on.
And she tried to have them come and, do the
Soft wash
the
out.
soft wash, and some of it just won't
It
come
won't come
off,
off.
so, so I'm okay with the stucco situation, I don't
Yeah,
think,
it is the back, it's not the stone, and I mean,
yeah.
even on the, the side of that building is different material than the stone,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
I have a question, just because I'm still learning.
Mhm.
Is it the council's, is it your responsibility to say, yes, you can do one, and then approve what it looks like, or yes, you can do one? Is that what I'm saying? Is it like, is this the body that approves what it looks like?
Yes, because there's something in our ordinance that talks about, right, like how far can you go? You know, like I was saying, like fences, that's not our business. And to some degree, we don't have it's a fine line, but we are here to maintain the aesthetic of that district, and to make sure that everything's kind of, copacetic and.
and the only thing I would say to that is that, it's on other buildings.
Well, so
So
here's
the-
my question to you.
So the ordinance say that you have the ability to maintain design standards
Yes.
around it. I mean, right across the street, there's a Coca-Cola sign painted on the
But
side.
that's
of the
original.
street. Correct,
So.
but it's still there. So.
So
and
here's the
then-
question though, are we now, so this is something, because I was looking up, trying to do a little bit of research about this. And so one of the things that the Georgia Council of Arts, their organization said, you have to be really careful, because now do we let everybody do murals? Now we go down a slippery slope, but we've already got 3 downtown, right? If we approve yours, then we have to approve
Well, I'm
everybody's.
not sure you have that many, I have no, but the surfaces, like,
Oh,
obviously,
I
you're
don't know
not
if
gonna
you're
do it on
setting
brick.
necessarily a precedent.
I'm not sure you
Yeah,
have
I'm
many
not sure.
surfaces
See,
left.
I
that
don't,
could be
but
eligible.
it's a fairness thing, right? Because then people come to us and go, well,
Fairness
that's not fair. You
fairness
let
is
the
not
city
precedent.
do it, you know?
Fairness is
Well,
not precedent.
and here's what I would say about that, and that is, permits come to Larry, right?
Right.
Signage permits come to
Mhm.
Larry. So murals and, we are redoing the sign ordinances right now.
So are you trying to get this before we redo the sign ordinance?
So that's a question,
No, it's
Larry.
gonna be a little while before we're done with the sign ordinance.
Well, I.
So let me ask you, so, if he were to come and just come to you and say, Larry, I wanna put up a wood sign and I'm gonna mount it to the ceiling or to the, roof line, it's not gonna impact the integrity of the building, would he be able to just approve it through a permit from you and it wouldn't come to us at all?
No, yeah, first place, it'll be referred to you for a certificate.
So, still will come,
It
okay.
has to come here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in
Because
some
it's on a
cases, just
historic
like the
building.
He just
sign
has to
that
meet
was
the
for the
permit.
last petitioner, it has
Or
to
the
come.
sign regulations and what
So,
size
yeah.
and
The sign
So-
regulations speak to the historic district.
Okay.
And they will require a certificate of appropriateness in order to go in.
And I mean,
has-
quite honestly, because of the size of it alone, it would need a variance. And I've got a really good relationship with the building officials.
Yeah, and it's gotta come to city
It's
council
called-
for the
It's city
variance
council's
also,
gonna
correct?
give you the
It's,
variance.
it's,
But you got it in,
So what my question,
it's called BIC.
it's called what?
my question is this. Would you, because we're looking at murals as a whole. And how many that are already down here, is what he's bringing up. And yes, this particular mural on this particular building can be adhesed to this particular building. Most of the murals in our cannot be put on directly on the building without damaging the building because they're limestone. Okay, to most of our historic downtown. The mural that is on the auto parts store
Yeah.
was put on the 90s. Is that when she did that? I think she did that in
There's
that.
a date on it, but it's been a long time.
I think she's planning on taking that off.
Well, she has to come here to have it.
That's correct.
So, I'm not going down that slope. I'm trying to do this one. So that went on like in the 90s. And it was like the postcards that everybody did in the 70s and the 80s, you know, where you drew Texas and things in it. The next mural that went in that I am aware of was the mural that was put in over here on the shiplap on
Yeah.
the Stewart building that is a new building that is non-contributing to our historic MPH.
Right.
Okay.
And
Then-
that's also sort of a postcard style.
Yes,
Right,
it
it's
is.
kind of the
And
postcard
that's on, yeah,
style.
like siding. Yeah.
And it's on the siding, so it can go directly on the building. Are you wanting, because like you're gonna have to come back here to change the paint colors or to change the mural if you decide to change it for some reason, okay? So do you really want to adhere it to the building, which is or do you want to do some kind of wrap? I mean, not really wrap, but you know, that kind of
Yeah.
banner type kind of that is more permanent, that like this time next year you decide you want to plant blue bonnets. I mean, I'm just using blue bonnets. Please don't think that I'm going to give us another marketing thing. I just am saying you want to change it out and put something else on it. I'm just asking.
And I think, you know, you mentioned the paint being removable.
Mhm.
And I think that is the issue. And again, we're gonna be coming to you guys soon for signs. And we're gonna be buying for 10 businesses on the square that don't have any kind of signage. So honestly, the love and amen. In fact, I have a mock-up of one that covers that unsightly area, and it's awesome. And you know, the question becomes like JRC doesn't even want to install them because it's a historic building, right? So the question becomes, I mean, we can do it, we have a bucket truck to do it. So we can install the signs, but I mean, that is
You're
the
going to
question.
install the sign on private, I mean,
No, of course.
this, no, no.
We're not gonna put up a sign of somebody.
That doesn't have any, yeah.
But what we're gonna offer is to buy signs for it.
I was asking about the
Oh,
mural.
I know.
Yeah.
But the question becomes, which do we do? Do we do something more permanent that is affixing? If it's a wrap, it doesn't go on the stone itself. It is almost like, well,
Yeah,
like the CVB with the arrow grounded.
well, something nicer than that.
That is a wrap. But the
Well, then I
product, the product is a wrap, right? So it would be something like that. It's like a sign that you're affixing to the back of it.
All right, so if you choose to change it in 6 months to a year, which I'm not saying you are, you'll have to come back and.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I want to make sure that sign, that's not that sign, that mural is done correctly. And, I don't know why signs, but that building went on the historic registry in 1965. It became an independent recorded historic landmark all on its own. So that's why, as we all know, we have to really protect that, and we really have to follow THC ruling on that also. And they're very adamant about, because Heather called them, I called them, I'm sure Melinda or somebody else called them, we all called them to make sure we were.
Well, we took down the ugly sign that was on the
I
side.
know, I wrote that in my report, did you see it?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, so just, if you actually look at your letterhead, it does say established 1926, so we need to
That's the
come
incorporation.
to, yeah,
That's the
some
incorporation.
kind of conclusion on what
There
dates
was
we're
a
going with
town
there.
here, but it
Well,
wasn't
and
incorporated.
yeah, I mean,
Well, we
No, I know
became,
the town was here, it's just.
we became Bernardsville in 1860 because of the mill. And then somewhere around 1874, which is correct, when Mr. Jordan and his wife decided,
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
your town incorporates, that's your establishment.
that's all I'm saying is that's when it became that. We still, until 1875, were in Hood
I
County.
mean, we could say, you
Could
know,
you say-
3000 BC,
Could
you
you
know,
say
Native
that?
Americans were here too,
Could you
and
say
it was a
that?
town, so.
But
how
I
far you
think
wanna
that
go
it
back?
needs to be
The
nothing.
dinosaurs were here?
I think it needs to be 1926,
26.
There's still a couple others.
because that's when it was incorporated.
I honestly would have done 1926 too.
Yeah.
It has to-
That's what I.
that's what it needs to be.
It was,
It's
I think it was
incorporated.
the museum
Huh?
that
It needs to be consistent.
Yeah, I
suggested Dorito we use 1870.
Well, the thing is that we weren't incorporated, we really weren't a city, and we didn't become a county until 1875. And therefore, we were still not even, we were just a spot on the map at that point in time. We weren't really, because we were just establishing grounds because the Texas Constitution said something else, that we had to have we were too far. Anyway, you didn't need that history lesson, I understand that, but I was kind of giving you one.
Do you remember it?
I do, I was here.
Which one, 1874?
Yes, I was here in 1860 when we laid the groundwork, okay?
I believe you.
3000 BC.
It was a-
3000
it
BC,
was a
so
previous
1926.
And it was a.
Are you okay with that?
Yes.
So the Indian shop.
So Melinda, I don't have any other questions except that they follow THC.
It is the back of it, that's the thing. I mean, it's,
I
you know,
understand that, but
it's-
you,
it's using
Let's see,
space that really,
okay, it was a
Honestly.
wooden saloon. And then, I mean, I can go on
Yeah,
further. I mean,
yeah.
look, it was the Knights of
I can't pronounce it.
Lodge and the windows were, the
Yes,
current
that's
aluminum
it,
windows
it
went in
is.
1963 as part of the restoration, in which the exterior stonework was sandblasted at that time, night depository was added. I mean, there's so much to that building, it just keeps on going. So, trying to figure out when they added 1902 is still that.
Can I ask who designed this?
Huh?
Who designed this?
It was designed,
JRC.
Who?
Randy Haney at JRC.
JRC.
Okay,
the art director. It used to be the art teacher at the high school.
okay.
I was trying to see when they actually added that second portion at the back, because it's an add-on.
I thought it was.
Yeah,
I think
that was
why
when he put the
material was-
bathrooms in there.
The
Uh-huh.
material is so different.
It's an add-on at the back. It was a two.
That yellow brick is 60 style, guys.
Yeah, it says the upper floor stone rear wall above the addition, which has been stuccoed,
Yeah,
shows that there were 3 second-story backsash windows have been filled and covered.
yeah.
Yeah, those are bathrooms on a staircase.
Oh, yeah, that staircase is up.
Well, yeah, we know about that staircase.
We know about that.
Okay,
Alrighty,
So
shall we move on?
yes.
All right, anybody have any other questions,
I just say,
comments?
no lighting this time, gutter to be moved,
So-
year to be changed. and
That's it, a
right?
year to be changed, gutter to be removed, and come back to us about lighting.
That's all.
Does that sound right?
Yeah,
What's the schedule for doing it?
Yes, sir.
I think we're close to nailing down a contract with somebody to do it.
Who's you don't know who's gonna do it.
She's done others. There's 2.
Okay,
There's one that is out of Fort Worth, and then the other one's local and is done. I think she did pinstripes, the inside pinstripes.
It's the whole walls mural.
Yeah.
Looks like New York
so
Yeah.
did she do the one on the square?
or more.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
She out of Cleveland?
Who's doing it now?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
I don't know if
There's
that's who it is. Is it Tanya?
It's Tanya.
Oh, that's what I was
Yeah,
asking.
Tanya, yeah,
Is that
it's like
her? She out of Cleveland.
She but she grew up here. This is
Okay.
home, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
She's done, I would say, she did that one. Anyway, never
Hey
mind.
guys, you guys can go to Blackies afterwards, have a drink, talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Never on Tuesday.
Never on Tuesday.
Just so you know.
That was a good
All right,
question.
let's go.
How are we doing?
Okay, so, yeah, so that's my question. I need to know, do we need to, I got my little cheat sheet here. Because it is a recorded Texas Historic Landmark, they need to be notified within 60 days, correct?
It actually says,
I have it right here. It says
yes.
60 days in advance.
mm-hmm,
So, I don't know if we are within our jurisdiction to approve it prior to
that's what I was calling
the
about.
commission weighing in on that. And I don't know the answer to that.
That's what I called about, and they're not back in until, Friday.
Can we make a motion to wait until we talk to them?
Well,
So here's what I propose. How about this? Because, nobody knows the answer to that, unless Miss Heather,
I don't
Okay.
try it.
So here's what I think. I think we table it so that we know that we're doing this properly. And we, in order to get you guys moving, once we find out what the exact procedure is for contacting them, giving them 60 days notice and getting some feedback, if we can go ahead and approve it without them weighing in, we could call a special meeting,
Yeah,
approve it and just be done
Why
within
would
2
you not
minutes.
approve it contingent upon?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Chair approval?
I don't know.
Yeah, it would be contingent upon, I've seen that so many
Well,
times.
So, it would be,
Because we want to follow the right procedure. That's, and we're,
if we
nobody's-
approved it contingent upon their approval,
We could do that.
they could have 60 days before the you can't start for 60 days on this. After they get if they have, I'm reading this, if they have to approve it, you have to give them 60 days notice before you do any work on it.
But if they come back in 10 days and say, good, you're good to go, but it
Right.
might take 60.
It could take,
And so
it
Miss-
says,
Miss
it
Heather,
says
when you-
without notifying the commission at least 60 days before the date on which the action causing it to begin.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that they're gonna take, it says that you, the building owner, have to notify them 60 days ahead of time before you choose to start doing it, according to this. And that is that's chapter 442, section 442.006F of the state preservation.
So Ann's call was just informal. When you contacted them, was that a formal notification? Did you?
I sent an email
Okay.
to,
Who'd you send it
I
to?
sent it to the CLG and then she copied
Catherine
Catherine.
Shelton?
And then I emailed Catherine back and said, please let me know what the
Yeah,
procedure
Catherine.
is. And then I also called her, but I have not heard back.
That's because,
They're not there.
I guess you could call that, like we're saying.
Just kind of wondering, like, when's the clock start ticking
Yeah,
for
when
them?
is that? Yeah.
On the email, I think.
well, you
Why
sent it to
don't you
Kelly
fill out a
Will and
form?
she forwarded it to Catherine Shelton. And you haven't heard anything from Catherine at all.
Yeah, it said one thing to apply, right?
Well,
But-
I don't really know what
But
the
what did you
procedure
ask
is.
in the email?
I've never had to do it before, so I
Did you
What the
ask
procedure was.
what the procedure was? You didn't notify them that they were planning
I
on
have the
doing it.
feeling that notifying is a formal document.
I would assume that they want a paper
Right.
trail.
It's not getting us.
They're an
okay.
agency. Of course they
Yeah.
want a paper.
That's why I was saying that you haven't really
Well,
notified them.
I would think if she takes 2 weeks to get back, I don't think she's gonna make you wait that 2 weeks longer and make it it should go back.
I have the
So
feeling the
hopefully we hear back
notifying
the
is
next
a
day.
filled out form.
And you have to fill out a form and formally notify her that this is what you're gonna do.
And whose actual, again, I really don't know, whose responsibility is it? Is it
The building
us,
owners,
them, HPO?
the building
Well, the
owners.
city owns it, so the
Let's
city.
see.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can
The
tell
city
them
has
to
to
fill it
let-
out, but they have to turn it in.
okay. I just wanna make sure we do it right the first time we submit it, so, and then we'll know for next time. Okay, so would that work if we approved it and contingent upon, following the state protocols.
And look, this still has to go to council.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And the city official.
yeah, the building official,
Building
no
official.
matter how well you know.
Just to get it through our.
Wait until you take the PTO.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Does anybody else have any questions, comments, complaints?
I'm just writing. THC and city council.
Noted, Karen does not care for the design.
You don't have to note that.
The color works a little bit.
But hey, it does tie into the saloon, right? That's a little bit of history, it's kind of got,
It started out as a
You know,
salon, so
Well, if you put a beer in the cowboy's hand.
well, why not?
Well, when no one's looking, it's still.
Because it might not be beer. it might
You know,
be
we
whiskey
actually-
or
That's
I
good.
was told
Why
that they
not?
had to take the moonshine part off of that
They didn't.
mural that went on the siding.
they didn't have to.
I don't know what the name of that building is. That's
Oh,
the
the
rumor around town.
Stewart
But they had to take the moonshine off.
No,
'cause it
they didn't
wasn't-
have to take the moonshine off.
They
They
didn't.
took it off and then they had to come back here and explain why they took it off to us because they had submitted a drawing that was one way and they took it off. And we are the petrified wood capital of Texas, but we are no longer the official moonshine capital of Texas. So she took it off because she said she did her research and it, because the original drawing has
Moonshine.
moonshine capital. I mean, it had that in it, so that's.
Is there a moonshine capital?
I was gonna say,
Official
who is the
moonshine
moonshine?
capital.
We were the unofficial, we were we were the unofficial moonshine capital, but I don't know that there's like an official moonshine capital.
All right,
All right.
I didn't go down that
here
road.
we go.
Let's go. Very good, Julie.
I don't have a cheat sheet. Okay, we're just gonna wing it off. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness application as submitted by Rita Smith on behalf of the city of Glen Rose for 100 Northeast Bernard Street, contingent upon approval from the, do we know what department this actually
Texas
goes
Historical
to?
Commission
But is
for
there
the
like an actual
recorded
department?
Architectural division.
The architectural division
For the
Okay.
RTHL.
for THC.
RTHL.
So, work can begin, once all following approvals are received.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Scott, just make sure Lynn's got, okay. All right, Scott motions, do we have a second? Linda?
Oh, okay.
Linda's gonna second? Can we vote?
Okay, wait a minute, we can have discussion because,
Okay.
Why?
well, because the motion's there and we can have discussion once you have a first and second
Sure.
afterwards.
Okay.
You were almost out of here.
Sorry,
You're so close.
sorry, because he did say he was gonna move the gutter.
Oh, we gotta put that in there.
That has to
Yeah,
be
you
in the
have to do
motion.
all that.
Got it.
Okay.
Sorry.
No lighting.
And lighting to be.
No.
It's the down-
Lighting's not, lighting's not anything.
Don't put anything on there then
No.
on the lighting? Okay.
You're-
It's
The
downspout,
downspout,
not
excuse me, I apologize.
Downspout,
Downspout.
okay.
With the removal of it to one side or the other.
Yes.
Okay,
So it's
Now,
atrocious.
now we can vote.
Actually, I just want to add one thing, that all paint for the signage will stay within the
Approved colors.
approved, I was gonna say colors, within
Design.
the design plans.
Mhm.
Just make sure it doesn't encroach upon the stone is what I'm trying to get at.
Oh,
Instead of changing the name.
Yeah, I got that changed, but.
Yeah. Well, you submitted two.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Sorry, that was a little messy, but
and
I got it.
it's definitely the second picture, not the first picture.
Okay.
okay, can we vote?
Yep.
All in favor? Got a 5-0 pass.
Awesome. It'll look great.
You're killing me, Troy.
Telling.
Next on the agenda is the discussion from City Administrator Troy Hill.
So I wanted to let you know, we are going to be bringing you guys signage requests. We're gonna do a bunch all quickly. So, the ideas, the facade, what we're trying to regulate and really kind of two things. A, we have so much traffic going through the square. Nobody has signs. We get so many cars and yet the walkability and traffic in the square is not good. And it's because I think part of it, there's a lot of things, obviously. Could be a lot. But signage is something we desperately need on our businesses. So we are going to bring applications for signage on the facade. We will regulate the amount of temporary signs, banners, other things that you see in the town square today. So that is coming. And, as for best practices, there is one thing, and this says discussion, so we can discuss. If you guys have a palette of colors, how can you reject? So what you said when you established a palette of colors, you tacitly says that these are approved and they're consistent with the design around the square. If they're not, then they should not be on the palette of colors. How do you turn somebody down that's picking from the palette of colors?
Because it's still our job to maintain a sense of cohesiveness and aesthetic, visually pleasing. I mean, black on black on black.
And what I heard,
I don't think it
was,
is.
and we probably need to, as a group, or you as a group, narrow that down and probably put in it, you want the colors to be, building colors are a lighter shade, trims are a darker shade, or take a lot of those colors out. Because what I heard when we were in Austin was, if this is what you put as your palette and you haven't put any guidelines around it, if someone comes with one of those colors, it's not your job to say, oh, I like it or I don't.
Well, I agree. I think they can come and say, we want to paint the trim green and the facade orange, and really, we probably are not supposed to turn them down. I think that we try and guide them in a better direction.
Completely.
However, I will say this, I think there's a lot of things that need to be very, very, we don't have a good guidelines document. We have some random kind of, canned stuff that people have gathered over time, and it's really not cohesive, and it's really not a good guidance system. So
There's probably too much to choose from.
well, actually, Anne has one that she started based off of another historic commission that's really, really good.
Yeah, that we did. But in answer to the paints, we'll go back to 2021. The original paint color sheet was, no, I don't have it. I don't know. Jody probably has, was this, was this. And it had colors on it. And they said brown, green, orange, green, whatever color it was. It called it by a name. It was the sheet that they had used, as I told Heather earlier, probably since 1994. It was faded. So
didn't even exist then.
the colors didn't exist. They didn't have any of the international numbers on them that you could have taken the number and gone and gotten it. So we, who were here at that time, called Vaspar, which is owned by Sherwin-Williams, who did the National Trust colors. Someone else had already PDF'd it and made it really nice. Vaspar sent the list to us. The reason we have the box today is because we pulled them at Lowe's, every one of them. Our intention was to get as I told Heather earlier this evening, was to go back and take all the colors out that didn't apply to us, but we had to get the ID numbers, okay? And there would be 3 of us that would show up. There'd be 4 of us that showed up, and we would do the agenda and we would sit down and work on that. And so we all decided at that time that we would take all the oranges and all those other colors that are not part of it. And then the colors like the black could be used for trim cut. We would
Yeah, it's
say which
supposed to
ones were
say
gonna
like how you
be
can use it.
what it was. I asked Stacy several times, and it's not Stacy's fault or however you want to deem it. If she could help scan the colors in that we needed so that we just had those colors.
But you have to get that approved by council.
No,
Yes, you do.
the paint colors?
Absolutely. If those are design standards, you can't make that decision on it.
They were done, they were done in 2021.
My
And
understanding was that the city council ended up approving all of them rather than the
Right.
select
That's
ones
the
they
that
did.
problem right now.
They did.
Right.
and
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah.
But
So
I
we
would
we
suggest-
understand.
Oh, I thought
What
you
we
meant
wanted to
the
do-
colors that the
What we wanted to
presentation
do-
has.
Oh, no.
They said.
What we wanted to do was go back and take out all the colors that were not applicable and Heather and I discussed that this evening, even going through there and picking out the colors that weren't applicable to our area, and then taking taking those out, and then taking the other colors that you wanted to make trim color only or
Right.
and all. We already discussed that this evening, and she and I already discussed that this evening to
Well,
get that done.
What I would like to suggest is that maybe we do a workshop, because we talked
Yes.
about one
Yeah, definitely.
with council, and that we go through the list of colors, because look, I mean, you know,
Or narrow it and
A lot of
propose
people-
here.
Yeah, we could narrow it before we got to council, to that workshop, and they didn't have to look at all 254 colors. We could say, these are the 40 colors.
Well,
that-
there's a lot of other things, like we were talking about earlier, like, are we going to allow vinyl windows or are we not? Like, there is so much that we need
And
to
like even
address.
But it will probably be
It's
top
not a
10.
one-day workshop,
probably a
it's probably
top
like a take it section, and it's gonna take us honestly a year to
Uh-huh.
really develop that, but once we do, it's gonna be so good and it will make this job
So it's
more,
easier
less
for
of us
all
walking a
us.
fine line where, you know, it'll just be
Yeah,
clear
and we
cut.
had worked on that.
Windows, doors, paint,
Yeah.
light, like there's probably.
And if another
top 10.
commission has already done it, you know, and they've got something great that we can
Work on.
work
Grand
off of
Rapids
as an
is out there,
example,
but it is
you know.
detailed, it's all.
and I think, you know, look, I mean,
It's
you can
107
pick out,
I've done 107.
and for instance, the person you talked to sent you a couple cities, right? Elton, Salado, that was it.
Elton, well, yeah.
Well, Elgin and Salado have done real good.
Yeah.
we don't need to reinvent the
Belton,
wheel,
right?
we just need to take
So-
it, apply it.
Yeah,
Adapt
just pick
it.
out another city and you can kind of use a couple different ones. Because, I mean, honestly, that's what I do.
That's what we
Yeah.
did when I put the guidelines together as a group here. I mean, we looked at them and we did them.
And then Ann did a lot of work on it.
We went to another city that had already done them. They got a National Trust grant. They wrote it with the National Registry. They wrote it with their parks and designs. We weren't reinventing it. We just took it, and I called them and talked to them because that's where we got the paint colors from and all. And I talked to them and they're like, oh no, we'll be glad to help you with it. We put it in a format that we make it shareable. So that's what we've already done, a lot of that, and they proved parts of it in 2022 on some of that,
The council,
on some of that,
Some of the
we,
sections of it.
some of the sections we did. And also we worked on some of that when we were working on the farmers.
well,
So
why
we
don't I verify that anything was ratified by council, there's a record of it.
when I said we're working on it in August of 2022, us, we did not take a finished product of the guidelines to the council because we were still spell checking and we were still putting these other aspects in it. We were looking back at it going, ooh, we don't really need that. We don't need, I mean, and That's what we were doing, and we've been working on it for over, well,
3 years probably.
3 years to work on, because when Karen, Scott, and I got here, there was Jody and Stephanie and I found the preservation plan in a trash bucket.
Yeah.
We found the historic resource survey disc in that same trash bucket. We found a lot of things because I asked questions, where was this, where was that? We found a lot of things in that trash. It was the file where you put stuff, one of those plastic things that you put your files in to file away. And actually the previous person said, oh, I told that previous person just to throw it away. And when I looked at it, I found the historic resource survey on the disc, and I found the preservation plan and some other stuff in there that I left all back in there. She made me a copy of the preservation plan, the previous city secretary, and then I don't know where it went after that. I got a copy of it.
Well, we can schedule a workshop. I would suggest that before that, you know, maybe individually you can take a look at some colors, you know, we could try to put together a list of what other cities done, send to you all, let you take a look at it. If you feel like there's something compared to the
Or if
current
the group
palette
has done some of that
that's
work,
missing.
like where it,
We already
I'd
have
love
some of it.
Yeah.
Well, if you send me your email, and I will send you the 172 pages.
Yeah.
And just break it down so it's what's most important first. We can do chapter 3 first. It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
And most of it is putting design back to it.
and again, really calling out to like what we really have jurisdiction over and what we don't. Because that's also really embedded in there. Unless you go and reference it when you're here,
Well, the
it's
ordinance
also.
at one point, hang on, it says you have the yard, because we take the whole thing, so to speak, into historic preservation. So that whole 25 feet by 100 feet, we have jurisdiction over. So if they put the fence up, then it's on that portion of the
Where does it say?
I
you
thought
can
specifically
regulate
said we
fence?
don't have fences.
hair. Hang on.
No, it does, it's in here, fences are in here.
Is it?
Yes.
Does the fence have to be historical now?
No.
Well, it depends, because like
Well,
in
it
the
depends,
house,
yeah, it depends on the
Yeah.
house. I mean,
That house, it has to be, you can't just put up
It can't be hardwired.
hot wire.
yeah, hard wire, oh god.
Or you'll have
Well,
a,
that's historic.
Yeah.
or you'll have a person who,
It does say, yeah.
who was sitting in
But I-
the chair over there as the chairperson tell you it
I'm
was
looking for it right
horrendous.
now to find you the exact number.
That was not her.
It was not me. I didn't have that woman crying.
Okay, so we're not here all night.
Yeah.
So what else?
Okay, hang on. You asked me a question, I was gonna find it, but go ahead to the next thing and I'll find what you asked me.
Troy is going to discuss commission duties and responsibilities. Is that what we're kind of doing right now, or? Okay,
Kind of overlapped.
Correct.
yes.
Okay.
So Heather, you know, has been appointed. Heather is your liaison to the city. So everything goes through her. Heather works with our staff. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page and that, you know, the commission will work through the HBO on any issues that you guys have. And then she is going to work with Larry, who's my designee from the city. So, what else? We do have 2 members up now. We have applications coming in until May 1st, so we will have to get it on the next council meeting in May to reappoint or take a look at different ones that may come in, whatever council decides to do. So that'll be coming up in May. And we'll let the 2 that are up, notice of date that, council will do interviews. That'll probably be a workshop. And then, council is wanting to do something before the next meeting. And I don't think we're gonna be able to get it on before the election, so we will probably wait till after. And that's to take a look at some of the cleanups we had talked about, and quite frankly, some of the changes that we're gonna suggest. In relation to, terms, cleaning up terms, changing the tax abatements, to reflect best practices in other cities. So we will probably do that at the same time, and that'll be maybe before the current council meeting on the 14th. Is that when it was?
Yeah, if we get her done.
Yeah. So maybe
Yeah, cause we got the
before
election
the
right in the middle
5:30
of that.
meeting, if everybody can do it.
Oh, having what you, yeah, I would think
Do
before.
what?
Can y'all
Say
get here at
Maybe
4:30?
before the council meeting, which starts at 5:30.
Can you get here at 4:30?
No,
What,
we-
when
I don't
is,
know the
what council bill?
availabilities.
The next council meeting is 14th.
Of May.
Second
Of May?
Tuesday of May.
Okay, and you wanna, what kind of workshop do you
Do
wanna
a
have?
workshop, so we would reappoint, as well as take a look at the suggestions that we're gonna bring forth to the council. So we could, also discuss a color palette and narrow that down if we're ready, or we can wait on it.
Yeah, cause council starts at 5:30. so we
Council
have to
starts at
wrap it up in
5:30.
an hour.
And what suggestions are we talking
think
about?
we could do that in
Color
an
scheme?
hour, could we? Do you think
We
we
have to
could?
call it,
I don't know.
You have to call it, with a workshop, you have to call it.
We have to call it.
Yeah,
it has to be,
Yeah.
a meeting and then,
It's easier with a council meeting. in
yeah, but
my-
I feel like that
I
you're
thought we
trying
were
to,
doing this with the council, the workshop.
yeah.
Correct.
They wanted to be involved in that, were they not?
Yes.
But we're not talking about the workshop with Kelly Little.
No, not with Kelly.
No, with the,
No, no, we won't
with,
have
I'm
the
talking city council,
workshop until
correct?
after.
And we're not talking about doing the whole guidelines in and out, we're just talking about focusing first and foremost on paint color,
I mean,
right?
you could do one day at a
No,
time.
we're talking about the changes that we had suggested in the council.
But
The
she,
council wanted to table it and have a specific meeting to address the suggestions.
she asked for a workshop, didn't she, with the council and with us?
No, it was a special meeting to address it. I don't think they mentioned a workshop with you
I
guys.
thought
I thought she did.
Yeah, workshop
asked
with
for a
all of us
workshop.
together.
Didn't she, isn't that right, Heather? Didn't you understand it that way?
I don't
To
remember.
talk
It
about
has to do with,
She
the
asked,
local government
but
and all of
it's
that, is that what we're talking
overlaid.
about?
she was talking about
Right, and it's to.
workshop. When she said, when you presented that, I thought she said that she wanted a workshop with all of us and the city council to go over all of that and do a
I
workshop.
think these
Yeah,
are two
together.
separate things.
Yeah,
Oh, I was
look,
reading
let
this.
us verify
Okay. Oh, no, I
that.
was just-
We'll
Okay,
get
I'm
These are two
together,
separate things.
we'll get some dates together,
Okay.
possible.
Because I'm not easily confused, but I think there's two subject matters going on.
I think there's two subject matters.
I think there's two, and I'm not
And I
easily
have a lot of,
confused.
like, questions.
Yeah, I think there are two subject.
Anyway, the idea was to possibly tag into
Mhm.
other things that the council's gonna do with HPC. If it's possible, we can do that, if it's.
I don't know, this is
Also
when
ones
they
that are
were
being
just
erected too.
I don't know.
Because I think you understood one thing, I understood something else, and I think you're talking about something else now, so I,
That's fine. We'll clean it up, we'll find out. That's all I have.
And that won't be the training session we're using for CLG.
Right.
I'm just
Kelly
thinking
Little's
That's
gonna come
Kelly
down
Little's
and-
coming for that.
Yeah, that probably won't happen until close to June.
June, yeah, that's gonna be.
The other thing is how many people have done the boot camp?
already done it.
I did it.
Everybody done
The
it
camp?
recently?
I did it like-
Because I registered everyone in here.
Yeah, I got
I
my
took it.
email back telling me, thank you for attending it.
I am doing it
Well,
in
the
pieces when
reason
I
I'm
have,
asking is you only got 30 more days.
yes,
It's
no,
online.
I'm almost done with mine, I just.
And you can break it up and
There's a lot of
Oh, yeah,
sections.
I passed
Four
forward the
hour
parts
thing.
that I didn't need.
Good night.
Nice.
Good night. Can we
Just wanna
adjourn?
make sure you did that. You have.
No, I wanted to just, but it's getting late, we can table it. I just wanted to kind of discuss, because I'm confused on
Aren't we all?
neglect. And I just wanted some guidance and to discuss, what is considered willful neglect? It's very,
Well, you had an example.
That is-
About the Glenrose Hotel, and I did not know there were broken windows. Now, you all know that it not only as sitting here as a commission, as individual commissioners, but as citizens, all you have to do is file a code complaint on an issue like that, and we will go to it. Now, just understand that we're limited in staff right now. We're starting to beef our staff up, so that we can go out and start doing some of those enforcements we've been unable to do because we're shorthanded and overwhelmed.
I
Well,
just.
that
There
particular
is a
building,
definition actually of
willful neglect.
There is, but what we can do about that,
We can do a
What we
lot.
can do about it.
Oh, I
If
just
it's
wanna
in,
make
if
sure.
it's in the purview of the historic commission, you certainly can. You can certainly let them know about it for sure. We will do it as a code enforcement thing automatically.
But we can't do anything about it. I mean, we can't.
No,
knock
no,
on
you
their door and
can
say
bring it
anything,
to
so-
us, but
But
we
we bring it
will.
to
No, we bring it.
We will, willful neglect is against the ordinance,
Yeah.
when it comes to historic commission.
Mhm.
So that's one item.
But do we go
But
to
the
you
other
or
one
just
is
have-
property maintenance, and that, I'm having that discussion right now with.
See, and that's what I was wondering, is where's the difference?
Well, property, well, they're basically the same.
Yeah.
Property, the only difference is in the historic district, historic
It's-
commission has something to
okay.
say there, and we should be bringing those people, why are you not taking care of your
Is
building?
it in the district or is it in
Yes.
the national registry?
It's-
The district is this yellow.
But it's,
It's in there.
it's in there.
Did I give you the green one?
No, I didn't mean to.
There's a
That's
green
in
one.
there.
And it's in there, and
Down
it's,
there.
What are we talking about? Glen Rose
It's down
Hotel?
here.
Yeah,
Yes,
the Grand Hotel.
Yeah,
Is
it
it-
might be in the registry.
It
It's in the
is.
national
Yeah,
registry,
it's-
but I'm not
yes, it
sure
is.
it's in the historic district as it is outlined
That's
in the
part of the
ordinance.
clarification
That's
we're
part of the
working on.
problem.
That's part of the clarification we're
That's the
trying to
other
get
thing.
straightened out.
but here,
Hickory all.
I know,
Where
and
it lies.
the thing is
If
that,
you read our ordinance, it's different than the national historic.
Well, and
But
it should
they-
be.
as it should be, they
Because we can
expanded
have
the national
multiple districts too. Like
Yes,
what
right.
we have right now is the business district. That is what is technically
Right.
in the
Right.
historic national register. Now, you can change the boundaries of the historic national register application, of course, but you can also have like a residential district. So for example, that whole line of houses that are all landmarks, that are all on, I don't know what the heck the street's
Grace.
called, Grace Street, that could be a whole district in and of itself. So you can have business districts, residential, you can have different periods of significance districts, so.
Right, but if you read the Glen Rose ordinance, the outline.
Or
it's just that
overlays,
one.
yeah.
Uh,
And it doesn't have to
Does anybody
conform.
have the current map that's on the site?
It's this.
It'll be hash marked in green. Yeah, it's not the blue. The blue is, the.
I don't have a hash
mark
the-
one.
That's the zoning district. I can make copies before you leave in just about
Would
10
you?
seconds.
Is that the one that,
I have it
That,
drawn.
it's
Is that
hash
the
marked
one?
in green.
is
That's
that the one that,
I showed it to you.
Michael Lemons found for me?
No. No, that never existed. Yeah,
At one time.
So what can you do with, so we can't do anything with the Glen Hotel other than turn it into the city?
Well,
I don't know where it is on this map, so
200,
I'm not very
can you
helpful.
go pull 200 out of the, can you go pull it out of the, box by the file cabinet, go pull the file cabinet?
Where is it here on,
Okay, it's actually,
Right next to me. It's right next to it in the river.
that's the business district.
Right next to it, that's the business.
this
That's
is
the
our, this is
downtown.
our overlay.
It is,
Yes, it is.
We
This is our
overlaid
current
the
overlay.
business district.
There's
This is-
another
this
one on
is
top
the-
of that.
The way
The
it's
ordinance
described
says
in
it's
the,
corner of,
this is what our
of
ordinance says.
the
is this right here.
intersection of Hollywood
and
and
Cedar. Pecan and Vine, Pecan and Grace.
This is what is
Cedar.
in our ordinance.
Yes,
I'm telling
I
you,
agree.
because I just mapped it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it's changed or evolved over time or gone back to what it was, this is what it is at
Right.
this time. And this
That's
has
what it is.
nothing to do with the Historic District
Right.
National Register. They're
Right.
totally
Right.
different.
And then the National Register
So Scott, where are you?
He's not.
So the Glen Hotel's not in there.
It's not in that, but they're in the National Register.
They're all in
It
the
goes on
national
down and
register.
picks up the rest of it, and then comes back down and picks it up like that. So we have multiple
Yeah, no.
areas and districts.
Hold on a second though, but it is a landmark building.
Oh, yes, it is.
So therefore,
That's why I told her to go pull it.
and is it in, where's my, I got way too much.
What's
What's the address of
the
it?
address, yeah.
It should be 201, maybe 203.
So 201 Southwest Bernard?
Pam is,
It's 201 Southwest Bernard, the
Yeah.
Glen Rose Motel.
yeah.
Okay, so
Property
it also
number is
is a local landmark and it
Oh,
gets,
yeah.
okay, so therefore, we do have jurisdiction
Because
over it,
yes.
whether or not it's in the overlay or the National Register.
That's right. That's the reason we have it over some of the other ones that are outside.
It says in our ordinance, you have authority over all.
Yeah,
That stuff.
landmarks.
Who wants to?
I do.
And I remember that I
This
specifically
building
looked up
was
that language the other day.
Landmarked in July 23, 2009. It got a historic landmark on it. I thought it was landmarked. I just wanted
So
to.
what year?
2009 was when it got the landmark put on it. It was in 2009. This is marked approved.
But it was still open.
Well, Jeff Abraro owned it then, but who still owns it now, right?
Yes.
That who still owns it? Yeah, they owned it then and it was very much then. So, and then 2015, they were included in the walking tour and were given notice of it. So I just wanted to make sure, because some people keep saying that those landmarks are not landmarks, they are, this one was landmarked. Just because it is 201 Southwest Bernard, there you go. And it was landmarked in July
No, I don't.
2009, I looked it up.
On my. It is.
So we do have jurisdiction over it. Scott's looking at it right now.
So what does that, by having jurisdiction over it, what does
Because
that?
that means that we can oversee that building in the sense
And they
that,
can be fined,
and they can be
but
fined.
not by us, but
We
This is
can-
private
we
city.
report them to
Larry,
Heather and Larry, I think.
yeah,
And
and
then
then they go
they
and
take action.
then Larry does a code enforcement on it. And whether he gets Buck to give a citation or not, because that's all who can write citations. The judge decides that they get a monetary fine or not, but those are the steps that have to be carried out, to my knowledge, is the way that it's supposed to be done, or at least the way I've been told it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, that's why I said that was the property that I was in, because the back windows are all blown out. Some of them are boarded up.
Trees growing.
It's got trees coming, blowing out of it.
Building.
The inside's falling.
Well, yeah, now with that,
Inside was-
I don't know that can we do anything with the
Yes.
inside?
I think if you have knowledge of
Yes.
it,
Like when you see the trees coming out from the inside out.
because what's gonna happen is that building's gonna get demolished.
It's
It's
gonna
at the point
collapse.
right now where they probably could prove that they could if they wanted.
And people,
Yeah, but not through willful neglect.
why not?
If the cost to restore is
Well, you know what else?
cost
Yeah.
half of what it's worth, or I forgot exactly.
Yeah,
Right,
They can be fined for getting it to that point.
That's correct.
Could be, yes, yeah, by the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can always.
But that's what I was trying to figure out is where do we stand with all of this? You know, how does this
Because
go?
actually, like being on the National Registry, from what I heard, really doesn't have as much weight as.
We have more weight as a landmark.
Sorry, yes,
Landmarks
it's a
have the
landmark,
most
yeah.
weight.
Because there's no National Register of Police.
That's right.
Right,
We
they're
are,
not gonna come down here and go, oh, your windows are.
we are the National Register
Right.
Yes.
police, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Where's my
I don't know that
badge?
I really wanna be the
want
national
a
register.
badge.
I want a badge.
I want
You want
a
a
sash. Like a,
A sash is good.
I
yeah.
want a
But that's more
tiara.
like Girl
Yeah, there
Scouts.
you go.
Oh,
I
I
want the
have,
tiara.
I was a
I have
Girl
a
Scout.
tiara now.
Yeah.
I was a Girl Scout till
It
they
was a
made me go,
brownie.
until they
Okay,
made me
well,
go
that was-
camping one
that was
time.
all
and
I
then
was-
was out.
I would
Okay,
say
so-
we have officially reported to Larry that we would like
Yes.
them to investigate.
Are we saying that we officially reported?
think we should.
Yes.
Oh, you were asking us.
I think we should, yeah.
I think we
Yes.
absolutely
I thought you were
should.
saying we had officially, that's why I
Now,
asked.
did he go around, cause you know, in the front, you can't really tell it's, but once you walk around the back, that's it, all those
Mhm.
windows and all the vines are sticking up and down the sides and all that. Okay,
Sad.
it is,
And I too had a question about that, and now I spent like a whole weekend trying to figure out what we actually have jurisdiction over to, you know,
Yeah.
comment on, and I couldn't find it again, but I know I did find it somewhere.
Well,
in
I
there.
couldn't find it where it talked about the
You and I
sidewalks and the
looked
yards and
together at
all
one
that.
point.
We found it, yeah.
Oh, we just found the fence,
Yeah,
So there were two different things, and it was a little bit hard to understand the fences. One of them, it's written in two different places, and in one of them, sounds more like it's jurisdiction over like existing fences, you know? But in that one, where it talks about the yard,
yes.
it sounds more like we do have authority to. So again, that's one of those things that.
Well,
needs to
she
be
has an
clear.
existing fence there. She wanted to replace it, so we should
Right.
have looked at it.
You did?
It's chain link, yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just
I
like-
know. I mean, my comment was we should have looked
That
at
is
it.
historic though, technically.
The chain link fence is.
She could put those little slats in it.
Yeah.
In black.
Oh,
In
Yeah.
black. Okay, are we through
I think we're done.
technically, or are we
technically.
done?
Okay, I would love
What are
to.
we gonna just say, what do you want me to put for the discussion of the willful neglect?
That the the commission has reported the willful neglect at the property at, 201 Southwest Bernard, the
To the
Glen Rose
HPO?
Hotel, to the HPO and to the planning.
That the HPO will then
HPO
inform the building code. So now it goes from us to her.
Yeah.
Who has to tell it to him.
I think that sounds good.
Okay.
Okay,
I would like to call this meeting to an end. I'd like to adjourn.
All in favor?
All in favor?
whoa,
That is.
and we are done at what, 8:08?
Right from
Anyway.
Yeah,
All right,
that's what I
Heather.
have.
Yes.
Yeah, that one?
I have my own
That is the
hand drawings, but
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's the one
Yes,
map.
it is.
that's legit, right?
This is a legitimate map one, yeah.
That's the same drawing that we already
Legit.
had. He's
I
not,
could,
We got a
he
legit
didn't give us
now?
anything
I
that
was
we
gonna go
already
with
didn't already
280
have.
to quit, but then.
Yeah, this is what's on the map.
See, it was.
Is this me or you?
You're looking at the zoning.
This
This is me.
That's
I
you.
know, but I'm
This is me.
outlining the same.
There's
Okay,
another-
now explain this to me,
That's exactly what's on.
But I'm like, this is.
as the